Capitol Hill lunch with President Trump and Republican lawmakers. Many disappointed in an election year that the president canceled the signing of a bipartisan affordable housing bill. He insists Congress first pass his Save America Act, an election-related measure. After the lunch, the president said it was a great meeting. But Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy indicates that what sources tell ABC News is correct, that the president was frustrated over yesterday's War Powers Resolution vote, saying he and the president raised their voices. Cassidy saying he asked Trump about the Iran war.
You have not told the American people what's going on. It was supposed to last 4 weeks. It's lasted 4 months. Our original objectives have not been achieved. And I want to know what's going on.
The federal judge today permanently barred Trump's executive order implementing a proof of citizenship requirement to vote. This is ABC News. Public schools in Los Angeles, the nation's second largest school district, have banned screen use before the second grade and limited it for older students. ABC's Rena Roy.
Parents and teachers have raised concern about an over-reliance on technology in school, worrying that digital instruction is replacing hands-on learning and social interaction. Doctors say encouraging too much screen time can lead to a number of health problems. But not everyone supports the change. Critics argue some students rely on classroom technology because they don't have regular access to computers at home.
Utah and Alabama have passed laws aimed at limiting screen use in class. 3 years after filing for bankruptcy, Bed Bath & Beyond is making a comeback. The chain says it will still honor its old coupons, and the older the better. The company is looking for the oldest surviving coupon as part of a new contest. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Coming up, a live report from Seattle Stadium District after another World Cup match. But first, Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. This is brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. Up in Everett, we've got a crash. Northbound 529 at the Steamboat Slough heading into Marysville. And your bumper-to-bumper backup starts at East Marine Drive in Everett. North 5 through Everett slows from 526 up to 528. You're jam-packed at the 526 interchange for about a mile and a half, and then you'll start to thin out. In Bellevue, we've got a new collision north 405 and Northeast 4th, blocking 2 right lanes. You're bumper-to-bumper to I-90. South 405, you're going to jam up in that same area of our crash scene here, Northeast 4th, down to 112th before you start to thin out. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, we've climbed a half-hour commute. You're heavy now from 85th to I-90. In Federal Way, we cleared that collision north 5 at South 300th. The backup is thinning out, still heavy kind of coming out of Fife up to State Route 18. And Seattle to Federal Way up to 45 minutes. It is slow from Tukwila all the way to about South 300th where that crash just cleared. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. It is a day Bosnian soccer fans will forever cherish. Their soccer team took down Qatar in a World Cup match right in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery is there as well and joins us live. Jillian.
Aaron, the 3-1 blowout win was pretty incredible. It was just as exhausting for the fans as it was for the players who got up early to start the party and get to the game. 40,000 Bosnian fans and tens of thousands Qatari fans baked to the sun for that intense, aggressive 90-minute game plus 6 minutes of stoppage time. Maliha was there in the stadium and says that final whistle unleashed a raucous celebration.
We smell like beer now because the celebrations were throwing beer at everybody, but there was a lot of singing of songs, just a fun crowd.
And all those tens of thousands of fans are streaming out of downtown right now. Every sidewalk heading from the stadium is packed, and it's a 4-block wait just to get on the light rail. Even so, I'm told trains are coming so frequently that it's only about a half-hour wait. They're very organized around here. They've tweaked their transit plans since the long, long waits of Game 1. So everybody's getting out of town. Just make sure you're patient if you're trying to get around by car or by foot. In downtown Seattle, I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, Jillian. Other news we're tracking today. Seattle police now calling an overnight shooting that left a 15-year-old boy in serious condition accidental. This happened just before 11 last night near North 93rd and Aurora. Detectives say the teen driver was shot inside a car when a backseat passenger mishandled a handgun. So far, that gunman has not been found. Shooting following weeks of complaints in the same area, forcing Seattle leaders to act. City Council member Deborah Juarez.
I think it's just unfortunate, and I'm just going to be straightforward about this. They had to get to this point to have legislation to make an emergency to do what the mayor's office could always have done.
City Council committee now approved a plan yesterday allowing police to close streets in areas impacted by those shootings, drugs, and prostitution. The full council is expected to pass the legislation next week. It's your forecast now, and that heat advisory in effect still. It ends at 11 o'clock tonight, and then a big cool down the next couple of days. Highs in the upper 60s for Thursday, low to mid 60s on Friday, rainy and breezy as well. Right now, sunny and 84 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Got it. Here we go with the John Curley Show. Thank you, one and all. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 1-888. That's it. Give you the rest of the number later.
Ooh,
that's a tease.
Oh, that's a tease.
No, it's not. 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome to have it in the news. Went to a party. I think it was Friday or Saturday. I can't quite remember. I got stuck in a stupid conversation with Dan Redwine about pizza topping. And I looked over, and there was Nick, completely and utterly engrossed with a conversation with a guy that was sitting next to her. And I was first thinking, man, look at that guy. He is got the big muscles, and he's probably putting the moves on my wife or something. I regret that I did not get a chance to speak with Mike Schatz at that party. That would have been somebody new that has an amazing story, because I was driving home with Nick, and she said, did you get a chance to talk to that guy? And I said, no. And then for the next 20 minutes, she held me in complete and utter awe of the life of this man that is sitting to the right of me. A little something. Grow up in a trailer park in Anchorage, Alaska, in 1980, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in 76.
76. Your mom has you at the age of 14. She has 6 children altogether. You, at the age of 4, are removed from the home and then go to how many foster care homes?
I was in approximately 20 different placements between the age of 4 and 10 years old.
And then eventually they return you back to your mother.
Yeah, so between each of the placements, some relatively short in duration, a few days. The longest, I believe, was around 18 months when mom would, for lack of a better term, get her stuff together. They would give her another go at parenting.
I'm going to jump all the way up, and then I'm going to go back with you, Mike. You have started how many businesses?
I've started and sold now 4 different companies over the last 25 years.
If somebody were to look at you on a piece of paper and they come from the world of business, would they consider you to be a very successful entrepreneur?
It depends on how you measure success. I have been successful in so much as that I've had 4 successful exits. I don't think money is the ultimate bar through which success should be measured.
I know, but I'm just trying to create a vocabulary that most people would agree on, that this Mike Schatz is an extremely successful entrepreneur that has created businesses, sold businesses, and the market has rewarded him well.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So now let's go back. So you are in and out of these foster care systems. Your mother ends up, is she killed?
My mother was a raging alcoholic from the start. She was killed or hit by a drunk driver in the ultimate of ironies on Christmas Eve of 1990.
And then you were then taken, and you sort of move in with a family that would not be your foster care family. They weren't able to adopt you, but you end up living with a family, a very kind family there, still in Alaska.
That is correct. So let's clear that up a little bit. At the age of 10, I was adopted by my younger brother's biological father.
Okay.
I lived with him for 4 years in a place called Sutton, Alaska. He passed the same year that my mom did. He passed August 9th of 1990.
So you lose you lose the father.
So I lived with this man for 4 years, and that was the only real 4 years of stability that I had, in my adolescence. This was the only person. I never met my biological dad. This was the only person that I ever, associated with the idea of a dad. And yeah, he died in a work-related accident in Ketchikan, Alaska in 1990.
So your mother passes. Your father, or the man that you would consider to be the most father-like figure,
for sure.
Your dad for sure. So then you end up moving in with a family.
So after that, now I'm 14 years old. I've lost everything I know. I'm back to, oh my gosh, what happens next? I didn't have a great relationship with my adoptive father's spouse. Larry showed me some favoritism, and she had a kid of her own, and things were tense in the house after he passed away. And so I sort of ran away from home at the age of 15 and moved in with my then best friend at the time. His name was Matt Monagold. His family understood what had just happened over the previous year with the loss of Mom and the loss of Larry and everything else. Mm-hmm. And I lived with him the latter part, I guess the second half of my sophomore year of high school. And then come summer, they were the Monagolds, and they were like, hey, Mike, it's been nice having you, but Ron is getting a job transfer to a place called Libby, Montana, and we don't know if the state of Alaska will let you come with us, but we'd love to have you, but you got to negotiate this with Vicky and
So then you work it out so that you can go with that family. You go to Montana, and as we talked prior to coming on the air, that in Alaska there's no gambling whatsoever, but in Montana there was, and in a sort of a strange, ironic twist, the woman, the mom of your best friend ends up going to a couple of like gas station casino.
Yeah, so in the state of Alaska, there's no casinos. You can't play the lottery. I believe there might be pull tabs, but there really isn't any way to gamble. And when we moved to Montana, virtually every gas station there has this, it's a place called Lucky Lil's, and they're full of these things called Keno machines. And she managed to pump something in the order of $350,000 into these Keno machines within the first year of moving to Montana, which put that family in a real state of financial distress. And so I was invited to move out of their house at the end of my junior year of high school in Libby. Luckily, by that point, I had made new friends, and I spent my senior year of high school with a family known as the Parishes. I had a buddy who was a year older than me. He graduated the year before, went on to the Navy, and the Parishes had an extra room in the house because Trevor was gone. And so I got to spend my senior year of high school sort of living with the Parishes.
Your life reads like if somebody had to create a series of calamities to befall somebody that is under the age of, say, 15. It's everything that sets the person up for failure. Mother most likely to pass on fetal alcoholism syndrome. Genetically entrapped with somebody that might not have ever really experienced challenges intellectually. Then you get crime mixed in there. You get moving from one home to another. There's no real structure that somebody has. But then you end up, again, we can quibble on what success is, but how does somebody with all of that against them break through and be, one in a million of some odds of succeeding?
I think it was a gift, man. Like I had this intuition, I was raised in an incredibly abuseful and neglectful household where there was drug abuse and alcohol addiction and physical abuse and neglect and, all manner of horrible stuff. And I learned at a very young age to kind of blend in with the with the wallpaper, meaning if I didn't ruffle anyone's feathers or if I stayed kind of unseen, I wouldn't get as abused as my siblings. And so, where am I going with this?
So how do you end up? So the survival mode for you is to stay away or at least not be seen. But the question still that so many people probably have is, so what is it that doesn't have you just one more statistic on the list of kids coming through the system, alcohol, addicted mother, the abuse, the inconsistencies in the home? So what was it? Is there one part of you that you can point to and say, it was because of this that I was able to get to where I am?
I think it's because I was sort of gifted academically. Something where I wasn't getting attention or parenting or, any real guidance from the foster families or even much at home to speak of. I was recognized by my teachers, bless their hearts, for, the work I did in the classroom. And in spite of all of that uncertainty and trauma and everything else, I maintained a 4.0 throughout my entire high school career. School always came easy for me. I'm not sitting here saying I didn't, that I put in a ton of work. I just got it.
Have you ever had your IQ tested?
Not formally. I've done some of those online tests that I think they embellish the result to try to make you feel better about yourself. So I don't want to say the number because I don't think I'm that smart.
But so for people, I always love meeting people that just break the mold, which you have, Michael. Mike, you, again, as I've said before, everything was against you. But your brain big enough to be able to get you through and past, teachers recognizing that. And then it gave you confidence in who you were. And then you were able to not let the past be prologue for your life.
I was able to do that to a degree. I don't want to sit here and make this feel like it was a victory lap or like I didn't suffer real, fallout from having been raised that way. I've battled various addictions most of my adult life. For 25 years, I was a high functioning alcoholic, and I tried all the things. I read the books. I tried AA. I tried all manner of things, and in spite of my addiction to alcohol, I was still having success in business, and I was still present as a father, and I was still. I still had a thriving community of friends and this kind of thing around me, but I was in pain. I've been in pain most of my adult life. One thing that even if you survive something like a childhood like mine, the pain of it sticks with you. And it's only in the work that I've done in the last year that I've really started to develop a new relationship with that pain where I don't need to turn to drugs or alcohol to be okay in my body.
You've said, and I did a little research after we had this conversation on that, so many of these addiction programs try to treat the alcohol or the drug, and you said you need to treat what?
Okay, so a couple of years ago, I was turned on to the work of Dr. Gabor Mate, and he asks a very important question. He asks not why the substance, but why the pain? And, for the longest time, I thought my problem was alcohol. No, my problem was everything I was running from. My problem was the pain I was trying to escape by numbing myself to death with the use of it.
So how does somebody, I guess you don't manage the pain. You recognize the pain. You heal from it. I heard expression one time, a scar is not where you were cut. A scar is where you were healed.
That's a beautiful expression. For me, it's learning to develop a new relationship with that pain and with those experiences. I used to do this really an incredibly good job of dragging all of my past and all of my trauma into each present moment. And that would show up as pain and victimhood and all sorts of things. And that's no way to go through life. sure, I had to endure and I had to survive some incredibly hard challenges, but learning that in hindsight, I don't think I'd change a thing. I think having to overcome all of that has given me a level of resilience and given me a level of lovability and character and appreciation for the life that I still have in front of me.
Wow. Questions?
You mentioned Gabor Mate. How did you engage with his philosophy? Was it through books, or did you find a therapist?
He has a pretty big presence on YouTube, but also through books. I haven't read one of his books cover to cover. I've read some of the insights out of his books. I'm a big fan of watching the speeches and presentations that he gives on YouTube. He's a pretty compelling person to watch.
So you'd highly recommend that for
anybody that's dealing with any sort of trauma, that being addiction or abuse or neglect or PTSD. I think he's right. I think the West's approach to dealing with addiction and trauma is wrong. So often when you go to rehab or when you are trying to free yourself of an addiction or a substance abuse, you're tackling the substance itself and trying to maintain abstinence without treating the underlying cause. And I think so much of addiction, I agree with him wholeheartedly, that the overwhelming majority of people that suffer from addiction problems are masking underlying pain that often came from really traumatic experiences, either in their childhood or later in life.
So what's new for you? What's next? What do you do? You're starting another business. We only have 1 minute left, so you don't need to go into great detail. You come up with these things, you get them going, you bring them up to a point that somebody in the marketplace says, I'll buy it from you, you sell it, then you come up with another one and another one, another one.
I'm not going to sell this one until it's huge, but
okay, this is the fifth.
This is my best idea yet.
So really?
I'm a bit of a pro when it comes to search engine optimization. I've been able to kind of build my career around that and really dominate for the businesses I've owned with our online presence. But the name of the game isn't SEO anymore. It's now AI visibility.
That's right.
There are literally millions of websites out there that have great SEO, but that kind of live in the dark. Right now, the result that you get from from Google's Gemini or from chat is sufficient to satisfy people's search results.
We should have you back on again because this is going to completely destroy the typical search that the consumer does because AI jumps past what Google was doing or how Google was making that money previously.
That's what our whole staff meeting was about last week, is how our digital numbers are down.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, well, you should have.
It is having a profound impact on traffic to websites that used to have really good optimization. In fact, some of the websites that I've optimized myself through traditional SEO methods now kind of live in the dark, or the traffic has suffered greatly from what's happening with AI showing up in search results. And
you have a solution.
I have a great solution.
Interesting.
There we go. Well, we'll have to have you back on again. Hey,
Mike,
I got to tell you something. Thank you for being so incredibly honest and forthright to share a story that I just happened to overhear while I was stuck talking to Dan about pizza toppings. I missed my opportunity, so I brought you in today.
By the way, Nicole is a gem. I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation, and I hope I get to have another one with both of you soon.
All right, we'll see you up at Sun Katie or Cleon. I'm coming to the barn, Mike, okay? Thanks for coming on.
That sounds great. Thank you,
All right,
John.
hold on. Let's get Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, Seattle Mariners have the update up in Everett. We're still looking at a collision northbound 529 to the Steamboat Slough. You're sitting in a bumper-to-bumper backup now, starting on Broadway in downtown Everett. North 5, the main line, you'd be best to stick with that. It is slow from 526 to 528, but it's only 15 minutes from Everett to Marysville on the main line. Bellevue North 405 and Northeast 4th, a collision still blocks 2 right lanes. Now you're bumper-to-bumper bumper into Factoria. Renton to Bellevue, we're up to 40 minutes. That's double the norm, with more backups to the Renton S-curves adding to this. South 405, you're going to jam up at the crash scene there at Northeast 4th and Bellevue, down about 112th, and then you'll start to clear out. Bellevue to Renton, a half-hour commute. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. We're stop and go from Interurban Avenue to 516, a very typical backup for this time of the afternoon. And Renton to Puyallup on 167, plan on 45 minutes. We're slow from Renton through Kent, and then you've got your usual heavy volumes between Algona and Sumner. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer, presented by T-Mobile. Next up is the Patriotic Show, July 3rd. Get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I get Nate Connors. If your shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, a hip, my hip was bad. I'm using past tense because I went to go see this guy, Dr. Mark Wagner. I knew that I didn't want to have surgery. I've heard some pretty nasty stories about people having hip replacements, and I thought, what else could I do? So I looked up, and there were stem cell procedures. You know what name kept coming up, and I talked to people? They kept saying, you guys talk to this guy, Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. He's done more than 20,000 of these procedures. It is a 90-minute outpatient procedure, and I was utterly amazed. And I told him right afterwards, about 2-3 weeks later, I said, hey, Dr. Wagner, I started running again. He said, nope, don't rush it, don't rush it. He knew that I hadn't run in 5 years because my hip was so bad. He knows that when people come in with a bad shoulder and ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is, that haven't been able to hike or play tennis or golf because the joints just aren't functioning correctly, that's where a stem cell procedure comes in, and that's where you see great progress and reduction of pain. You get back to the life you want. DrMarkWagnerMD.com. That's DrMarkWagnerMD.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spellbook.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what? End up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A sold-out Lumen Field watches Bosnia take down Qatar today, 3-1. A majority Bosnia crowd in the World Cup. Dennis telling us he came with his family from Baltimore to watch his home country on the world stage.
That's like the one thing that made me come here was just seeing should be 30, 40,000 of us here, and just hearing the atmosphere and this one thing that makes it all worth it. So
Seattle's next World Cup match set for this Friday between Iran and Egypt. New details about Bill Gates' years-long relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein coming from the House investigation into Epstein. ABC's Aaron Katursky has the story.
A newly released transcript shows Bill Gates expressed regret about his years-long relationship with Epstein and told the House Oversight Committee when he tried to cut ties, Epstein wouldn't have it and plotted to use Gates' sex life against him. I was not blackmailed, Gates told the committee, but, it looks like Mr. Epstein's brainstorming was going in that direction.
Gates also denied he ever witnessed any criminal sexual misconduct when he was with Epstein. An 18-year-old Poulsbo man was arrested after a hit-and-run crash and an assault on a Kitsap County Sheriff's deputy just last night.
Investigators say the teen rear-ended a driver near Central Valley and Buckland Hill roads, shouted slurs, then took off. Deputies found his car at Silverdale Waterfront Park. They say after refusing a breath test, the teen was taken in for a blood draw where he allegedly kicked a deputy. He was jailed on suspicion of DUI, hit and run, and assault. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Some of the most important decisions of the year from the U.S. Supreme Courts could land as soon as tomorrow. Former Washington Attorney General Rob McKenna tells Seattle's Morning News the case getting the most attention, birthright citizenship.
That birthright citizenship case is sort of, the eclipse is blotting out the sun as far as its historic importance.
Another case tests the president's power to fire people at certain government agencies. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk and check in with Nate Connors.
Well, Aaron, things are getting worse for our Everett commuters. First, we're dealing with this collision northbound 529 at the Steamboat Slough, and that's got you backed up bumper to bumper onto Broadway. And then North 5, just before 41st, we have a new collision taking up 2 right lanes, and that's got you backed up solid all the way to the mall. Over in Bellevue, North 405 and Northeast 4th, still dealing with a crash taking up 2 right lanes. You're bumper to bumper into Factoria, Renton to Bellevue, right around 40 minutes, with more backup through the Renton S-curves to get through as well. And then South 405 jams up at the crash scene at Northeast 4th through Factoria, Bellevue to Renton a half hour. Heading into Seattle, South 5, we're solid from Ravenna Boulevard to I-90. North 5, you're packed at the Michigan curve in the downtown. And Tacoma to Olympia, just a 40-minute drive. Subaru Puyallup has dependable, fuel-efficient all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. Find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Forecast now, just partly cloudy outside with highs in the mid-80s. And tomorrow, more clouds and then rain late, showers and breezy on Friday. Actually, 88 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Appliance. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. No backup on this? Stop the music. Stop the music.
You said we don't do these.
Hold on, stop, guys. Seriously.
No.
What?
You said you save it for Buc-ee's.
We're not supposed to sing for this one, John.
Come on. You know that.
Oh, okay.
It's your rule.
Oh, okay. Home Comfort Alliance, heating, cooling.
Home Comfort Alliance.
Plumbing, electric. I couldn't stop myself, Andrew. Can't stop the music.
You got to go with the
Don't
flow.
stop the music.
Nope.
Is it started yet?
It has.
No. The end of the world?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, good. And we still have a little time for this. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. All right, there's okay, get the ghost to coast here. I don't. You told me about this, didn't you? This is from your hole.
Nope.
You pulled this out of your hole.
Wrong.
Social media creator in the U.S. have been drafting her viral posts, amassing that it's supposed to be happening today in Miami at a large sporting event. Is it 700 people altogether? Well, I'll explain. This is from a Brazilian psychic.
A self-proclaimed seer with more than 23 million followers on
It's more than us.
Instagram is claiming something wild. She says on the 24th of June,
that's today,
aliens will invade a Miami stadium and abduct soccer players. Since she is a seer, I don't think you can expect to get any proof from her, but this is going viral, as you can imagine.
Okay, so we have it on. We will be bringing you up to date. Is the alien abduction only going to take soccer players or just anybody?
It's unclear. She says, and there's some sound of her.
Take the goalie. Hold on.
I dreamed again about aliens invading the soccer field in Miami. And I clearly saw this scene of the players being carried by the first ship that arrived. And it took thousands of people from the soccer field. I saw a lot of screaming, a lot of crying, many tears, suffering. And I'm going to tell you that I'm very terrified because, it's the second time I'm dreaming about this again.
Okay.
And they were saying that on the 24th, something very bad is about to happen in this game, on this soccer field in Miami, in the United States.
Okay, got all that.
It's very bad what I'm going through because I'm dreaming. And the dream, for me, it's hurting my soul. It's like something very bad was about to happen to the soccer players in this game on the 24th.
Okay, we got all
I
that.
saw people screaming.
Okay, we got that already. All right. Oh, I had a bad dream, so she's all hurting. What about the poor people about to be sucked up into and then probed?
She says at one point that she thinks they were saving the soccer players from something.
Okay. Well, anyway, we have it on. It's supposed to be happening at any minute, so let's just stop the show and watch.
Could you imagine?
Well, no, hold on, Joe. Don't rush it.
We have 60 more minutes plus halftime.
Oh, that's true. I thought I was supposed to have right now at
hydration breaks. No.
Okay.
At some point during the game.
All right. So then no need to panic anybody. What's that?
You gotta wait.
We gotta watch soccer,
man.
That's even
I bet
worse.
it happens at the very end of the game.
It's all right. We'll be on the air still.
It's probably going to be like a tie.
You got to keep the ratings up somehow. Make them watch the whole thing.
Right. What team is even playing out there, Joe?
Scotland and Brazil.
Okay. And who do we like in that, huh?
I think Brazil's probably favored. Let me check.
Okay. So far, the psychics that we've ever, not the ones that we had local, Psychic Spectrum, they've done a pretty good job. The rest of the people, like the guy we had on from the Amazon rainforest, went to all that trouble to have him hook up to us, and looked like he hadn't showered in weeks. Remember that guy?
Yeah, he wasn't a psychic. He's just a seismologist.
Well, whatever. His stuff turned out not to be true. It seems like any crackpot that comes knocking at the door suddenly gets 6 minutes of our valuable time.
Earthquakes. Yeah, his prediction has technically not expired yet.
Oh, my God.
Just saying.
What guy? The guy that was in the woods?
Yeah.
Why hasn't that one gone away?
Because it was like a 3-year window.
Oh, come on. We are a news organization, fellas.
Listen, when you're talking about the
facts, they only want facts. We're waiting. We're waiting for this story to develop, waiting for 700 people to get sucked up into an alien spacecraft, according to a Brazilian psychic. If you can't take that to the bank, I don't know what you can. Come on now.
She's got to be at least good in some fashion. She has 24 million followers.
But
she apparently correctly predicted the arrest of Jair Bolsonaro, the Brazilian president, one of the Donald Trump assassination attempts, and the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's what they always say, that they have that sort of stuff. But I want to see the evidence that they had it beforehand. They had the assassination attempt on that one? She had that
Apparently.
one? All right.
I mean, all her stuff's in Portuguese. One of the most interesting things is that video that we played sound of. If you watch it on Instagram, it AI translates it to English and makes her mouth look like she's speaking English. But if you pull it up on your desktop, it's just in Portuguese.
See? That's another one for you.
Wow.
Welcome to Joe's Hole.
This is John's hole, by the way.
My hole's nowhere near this
Yes,
one. This
it
is
is.
all you and your rabbit.
You sent me this twice.
Only because I knew that you'd be sending it to me, so I was trying to get out ahead of you. So at this point, we don't.
Nobody's
by the way, there's
abducted.
but can I just say something? This is mean just like in a discriminatory way. There doesn't seem to be any white guys on the Scottish team. Like where are the
What are you talking about?
That's Scotland, right? Is that Scotland?
Yeah, in blue.
Everyone looks like they're from some other country.
You're looking at the wrong TV.
Oh.
I told you.
What's the one on the left?
I don't know. That's Morocco and Haiti.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay, guys, we're on the air, guys. We're on the air, guys.
Look at the tan that everybody has in Scotland. I was surprised by that. All right, fine. All right. Well, anyway, we'll keep you updated as to whether or not 700 people get sucked up from the soccer field there.
2 spaceships.
Okay,
One of them's
Joe.
a mothership.
Okay. Don't be just trying to slow the show down with facts.
Just help
and then 700 taken up into the alien ship. 700 altogether, as Joe says, to be a main ship and a mothership. Okay, fine. All right, good. Oh, yeah.
I just became a lot more interested in this game.
Let me, what I gotta say before we go to the break. When Oprah Winfrey asked her audience of about 150 people to do something, they all agreed to keep what they saw a secret. And Oprah said, today no one would do that. She's still just gobsmacked that everyone kept the secret as to what they saw there at the Oprah Winfrey Studios.
I know someone who kept an Oprah secret in 2025. So do you.
And there's your tease right there. We're right back. Here comes Nate Check and Drop and Nathan.
All right, Lake Washington Windows and Doors has the update. We're struggling in Everett this afternoon. We've got this blocking issue northbound 529 at the Steamboat Slough, and you're backed up bumper to bumper onto Broadway there in downtown Everett. And then North 5, the main line, just before 41st, a collision blocks 2 right lanes, and you're sitting in a parking lot starting at the mall. Over in Bellevue, we cleared that collision, North 405 at Northeast 4th. That backup behind it starts in Victoria, but it's thinning out pretty quickly. South 405 still jams up at Northeast 4th down through Victoria. Bellevue to Renton, a half-hour commute. Now, Seattle to Everett, an hour, 10 minutes. You're slow from Northgate through Mill Creek, and then you've got that parking lot heading into Everett slowing you down. And Bellevue to Everett, an hour. 405 is actually looking pretty good this afternoon. Mukilteo Terminal, Edmonds, Kingston Terminals, and the Point Defiance Terminals all reporting 1 hour wait for drivers this afternoon. Right now, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is giving the first 40 June signups with 5 or more windows, a free patio door, plus 12 months free financing. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Let's get parts of that house to be functioning again. This isn't about heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. This is about your spaces, like, for instance, the pantry. Can you find something in there? How about in the garage? Is that just a total mess? The laundry room, the office space, wall beds, anything else? There just isn't enough room? It's because it's just not arranged correctly. And that's where Closets by Design comes in. They've been to the barn twice now, and they've built cabinets that match the rest of the woodwork. They do the custom work without the custom price. 40% off plus 15% off in 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Ooh, it is hot outside.
Western Washington is under a heat advisory.
So yeah, stay hydrated and stay with KIRO News Radio for updates on our record heat wave.
If we get to 90, it'd be the second time this June that we've done that.
Together with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather.
It's going to be interesting here for the next couple of days.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
In the Northwest 20 years ago, 90 was unforget about it.
The KIRO News Radio app and your smart speaker.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explain this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with
Yes.
because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some carry groceries, prepare meals, or simply hold a hand. Caregivers are the everyday heroes who keep our communities strong. Right now, Washington needs more of these heroes. People like you, ready to make a difference in someone's life. Caregiver Careers Washington offers online resources and guidance to help you get trained and start your caregiving career. Become a hero not just to the person you care for, but to their family and their community. Visit caregivercareerswa.com today.
Sponsored by DSHS and aired by the WSAB and this station.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Always exhausted, loud snoring, keeping your partner awake? You could have sleep apnea and not even know it. South Seattle Smiles has a comfortable solution with no CPAP required. Most medical insurance accepted. Call 206-241-5533 today. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
Okay. Mocha Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. Okay, so speaking at an event in conjunction with the Cannes Film Festival, Oprah Winfrey revealed that Whitney Houston fell off the stage at her show in 2009, and then she begged the audience. Does she say all this, Joe?
Yep.
Okay, hang on.
I had such trust from the Oprah Show audience that Whitney did, I think it was her last show with us, and she had gone back on drugs. The first interview I did with her when we'd gone behind stage and I asked her about her intention, she was clean. But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not. And she fell off of the stage. And I knew that if that story got out that she'd fallen off of the stage, that she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out because it would ruin her life, and they did not.
And what about...
That would not happen today, I can tell you.
Yeah. What about...
So here's part of the interview that Oprah did with Whitney.
I am at that point in my life right now where I have no regrets. Not even about my marriage, my life, anything that's happened to me. It is everything has been in a divine order, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's what it took to get
I got something from everything, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so did Bobby know you were doing that interview?
No.
Does he know now?
No.
No? No.
But I'm sure I'll be getting a call.
Yeah. Are you worried about that call?
Not whatsoever.
Not whatsoever about
Bring
the call.
it. What? Bring it.
Bring it.
Bring it.
Because I love the moment in the
I told
interview.
the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember that moment in yesterday's show when you said, listen, what I could tell you?
Oh, there's stuff that, is better left unsaid.
Better left unsaid.
So that was the interview that she did prior to. She came back, they did it in 2 days, right? So she was...
This was allegedly the same day that Oprah's talking about.
And then she's performing.
I thought I'd never make it through. I had no one to hold on to. I thought I might break. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down. But I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. So they fixed it. I guess the part she said that when she fell, I guess they reshot it or something. Is that
in watching the video of her performance, she definitely didn't look like she was high or anything.
Yeah.
When watching the interview, she seemed like a little
off.
Yeah, a little bit, but she didn't look terrible. And I certainly don't think that would have ruined her life.
I think the people that go to the Oprah Winfrey show and the huge amount of respect that they have for her and admiration. So when she said, don't share this with anybody. Now, this is 2009. Cell phones and everybody having, when was it, 2004 was the beginning of the ability to have photos, and then the selfie, I think, came in 2007 or something. I still think Oprah has... The audience loves her so much that when she said, don't share this, they didn't. The fact that Oprah came to Seattle and they had a book club meeting at Starbucks with, I think, like 50 or 60 women, and one of them was my wife. And I said, are you going to talk about it? She said, nope. And everybody that went to that Starbucks book club thing where they shot it, no one said anything. Nobody came on. I tried to call some people. Nope. We're not talking about it.
She wouldn't even let you talk about it.
No, I had to keep it a secret because, like she said, we all promised Oprah we wouldn't tell anybody.
Did she sign an NDA for that?
I don't know. We got a mug out of it.
Oh, that's nice.
All right. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, John, up in Everett, northbound 529. We're jam-packed from East Marine Drive there in Everett all the way into Marysville. North 5 at 41st. Our collision that had 2 lanes blocked has been moved over to the exit lane. It's blocking the right lane, so there's 1 lane open for that off-ramp. You're backed up bumper to bumper now, closer to 112th there in South Everett. Eastbound 526, we're bumper to bumper still from the Boeing plant over to I-5 because of the I-5 backups. South 5 into Seattle, jam-packed at Lake City Way to I-90. Linwood to Seattle is going to take you 25 minutes. North 5, it's thick from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 40 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is at 45 minutes. And if you're heading westbound up toward Tiger Mountain Summit, we've got a 3 to 4 mile solid backup heading up to Summit. Just volume here. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185. AdvancedHair.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples. That was easy.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Lunch wasn't leisurely on Capitol Hill with President Trump and Republican lawmakers. The president canceled today's signing of a bipartisan affordable housing bill. He insists Congress first pass an election-related measure. Trump said it was a great meeting. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy says it was tense with he and Trump in a shouting match, saying he asked Trump about Iran.
It does not appear, although I don't know for sure, that the course of this is going the way that we were told.
Specifically, said Cassidy, the war was supposed to last only 4 weeks, and none of the primary objectives have been achieved. Trump has repeated this today.
The war is going very well. As you know, we're winning by a lot.
And of the housing bill?
Low interest rates will solve everything. We'll solve that. Now, despite that, we're doing well with housing.
Federal judge today barred President Trump from implementing a proof of citizenship requirement to vote. This is ABC News. Bill Gates says Jeffrey Epstein tried to use Gates's sex life against him in a transcript newly released by the House investigation into the accused sex offender. ABC's Aaron Katersky.
Gates acknowledged he had 3 extramarital affairs, and when Epstein learned about 2 of them from a mutual acquaintance, he said Epstein began working to use information about my infidelities. The committee asked Gates about photos from the Epstein files showing him with women. Gates responded he did not know them. He said, Epstein asked me to take a photo with one of his assistants, which I did.
Mice are getting smarter, says ABC's Elizabeth Worthington.
A recent Rutgers University study found that mice are genetically evolving to become resistant to the poisons designed to kill them, also called rodenticides. The researchers looked at samples from New York City, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, and Philadelphia and its surrounding suburbs.
Studies show that 70% of mice sampled were mutating. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Coming up, another World Cup match drawing huge crowds to Seattle. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, sir. Your Mariners have the update. It's been a struggle northbound through Everett this afternoon on both 529 and I-5. Right now, 529 is quickly thinning out, though. That's the good news. Still heavy at the Union Slough into Marysville. North 5, we're bumper to bumper from South Everett, 128th, all the way up to Broadway as we recover from an earlier crash near 41st. That cleared about 15-20 minutes ago over to the exit ramp. Eastbound 526 still heavy leaving the bowling plant to I-5. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. South 5 heading into Seattle. It's bumper to bumper from Lake City Way to I-90. 25-minute trip from Linwood. And North 5 heavy from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton's a half-hour trip, and we're heavy from 520 all the way down to the VMAC. This support brought to you by your Seattle Mariners, and don't miss fireworks nights all summer presented by T-Mobile. Next up is the Patriotic Show, July 3rd. Get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Bosnia keeps its World Cup hopes alive after a win today in Seattle. Bosnia beating Qatar 3-1 at Seattle Stadium, boosting its chances of reaching the knockout round for the first time. We found these fans after Bosnia's big win.
Atmosphere was great. There was a lot of people there.
the whole crowd was blue and white, so it was awesome.
I've told all my family and friends, I just keep sending the word surreal. It's been a surreal experience.
Well, today's victory also sets up a potential return to Seattle later in the tournament, possibly against Team USA, if both teams advance. A 15-year-old boy in serious condition today after a late-night shooting along Aurora Avenue North. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Seattle police say the teen was driving near North 93rd and Aurora when a backseat passenger accidentally shot him inside the car. The shooter and other passengers fled on foot as the victim pulled over at North 105th Street and got help from a Seattle fire crew on scene of an unrelated incident. Neighbors like Eric Williams says sadly, nothing surprises them anymore.
My mom's lived here for about 20 years. It's gotten considerably worse, from what she said.
The teen was taken to Harborview and at last report was listed in serious condition. So far, no arrests have been made. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Come the end of this year, some drivers may get a big price break for the tolls on state routes 509 and 167. Details of the proposal being considered from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Carl C., Deputy Director of the Washington State Transportation Commission, says the plan would cut tolls in half for people whose income is no more than 200% of the federal poverty level. So the annual household income for a family of four could be no more than $66,000.
Federal poverty level guidelines are commonly used to determine eligibility of many need-based governmental programs.
Like Medicaid, for example. If approved, the program could launch in December. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And to your forecast now, looking at another hot afternoon. Tomorrow, though, a big cool down with more clouds and highs in the upper 60s. Showers and breezy on Friday. Right now, 88 and sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Got it. Here we go with the John Curley Show. Everybody, welcome. Your voice is important, or at least your typing is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. Diving into the news and going across the pond. Hit it, Andrew. Reem Ibrahim. You come highly recommended by our friends there at Reason. Jack loves you, Bess loves you, and they're like, Jack's like, I'm leaving, I got another job, but Reem's going to be your girl. The reason we're talking to you, first of all, welcome to the show. Do you feel the instability there in the UK without having your prime minister in place after, what is it, how many guys you've lost? 6 in the last 10 years that have basically said goodbye?
It's been crazy. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. It is an absolute pleasure to get to speak to you and also to hear a little bit about what it is like as a Brit coming from the United Kingdom, moving to America, and then realizing that I have to come back to the UK for basically admin issues. And then in that time, the Prime Minister resigns yet again. And we see so much tumultuous sort of attitude around Westminster. And, you know, I feel like it was sort of, I came back to the UK on Saturday and then the Prime Minister resigned on Monday. It is not a coincidence. I don't think that we can say this. He was obviously afraid. But it is really fascinating because last Thursday we had a guy called Andy Burnham, who was the mayor of Manchester, win a by-election. Now, for those of you that are listening that don't already know the way that the parliamentary system in the UK works, Parliament, the House of Commons, is made up of 650 constituencies, small areas, and each one of those is represented by an MP. Now, at a general election, all of those areas are up for grabs. Yeah. But what happened is the MP, the Labour MP for Makerfield, one particular constituency, took a step back so that Andy Burnham, the former mayor of Manchester, could stand and become an MP. So he could be sent from Manchester all the way down back to Westminster. And the reason why this is really interesting and quite unprecedented is because lots of people in the Labour Party were talking about Keir Starmer doing terribly, the fact that things were going quite terribly within the Labour Party itself. There was lots of calls internally for him to resign. But as soon as there was a credible challenger, and I think dare I say it says a lot about the fact that all of those other MPs in Parliament were not considered good enough to be a challenger to Keir Starmer.
They bring him the King of the North.
Really very low.
They bring in the King of the North.
You got to bring in what he describes as the King of the North. Now, this guy, Andy Burnham, I've actually met him in a pub before. He is a very nice and charming man in person. But being a nice and charming man does not mean that you are necessarily fit to be Prime Minister. And there is something to say, and I think it's really interesting for Americans to really understand this. Despite the fact that what has happened, Andy Burnham standing in the by-election, this Labour MP taking a step back, making him the MP, and then him deciding to launch his leadership bid after Keir Starmer resigns. Despite all of this being totally legal, it's just not really what we do in the UK. And a lot of British politics is based on convention. And this really does go against convention because effectively it's sort of, I described it on X as distasteful. I think it is quite distasteful because what if you've effectively got is this local politician in Manchester who has borrowed enormous amounts of money and spent enormous amounts of money in Manchester. And he calls himself, he says it's business-friendly socialism, which as far as I'm concerned is a complete oxymoron. But what he does is he takes those ideas and says, I am going to number 10. And the establishment literally pick him to do it.
It's interesting. So I was reading, so when David Cameron got the job as Prime Minister, he was asked, why do you want it? He said, because I'd be good at it. And then Starmer had the same sort of attitude, which was, or as Cameron also said, how hard can it be? And Starmer seemed to have the same attitude, gets in there. Apparently he wasn't easy to work with. People didn't really enjoy the time with him. Big ego, gets in there and ends up. So I'm going to play just the last part. This is why he chose to resign. Here's it. If you can hear this, hang on.
The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision.
Reem, there's lessons to be learned for the United States. I'm sure you saw what happened yesterday in New York, right, with a number of DSAs, right, the Democratic Socialist folks that have been winning. We could look to what has been happening in the UK since 2008. And I remember I saw this piece that you had written in Reason, and this really speaks to what has happened to the economy there. You said that that the voters vote for the protection for the employee so that they can't get fired. And then you end up, these are your words, then you end up with 1 out of 4 working age people from the age of 16 to 64 not working. And then 1 out of 9, 16 to 24, 1 out of 9 are on welfare. Mm-hmm. So you have this, everyone is protected that's working, but no one else can get a job. Explain for everybody that doesn't understand the security that comes with that type of government. What if I wanted to start a business in the UK? What would happen to me?
No, you're absolutely right, and it's a really great question. So this is really, I think, a fascinating warning for Americans. One of the most incredible parts about America, and one of the reasons why a lot of companies that are really quite innovative get founded in America, this is not a coincidence. It is because the environment is far, far more sort of susceptible to that idea, because it's far easier to employ people. And of course, it is far easier to fire people. It means that it is a far more dynamic and flexible labor market. Now, if you ask the average German worker, who, by the way, is about 10 times less likely to get fired from their job than the average American worker, if you ask a European, do you think it's great that, you are far less likely to be fired? They would say, absolutely, yes, I have so much stability. But that is only what they individually see. The unseen aspect of this is mass youth unemployment, but it is also crucially investment in sectors where effectively you will see lots and lots of job stability. So there are two things I just want to cover here when it comes to real work employment regulations that especially the UK has introduced. So the UK has introduced lots of regulations, including something called the Employment Rights Act, which was hailed by the Labour Party, but of course the Conservatives also supported aspects of this policy. And what they were saying is that effectively it is going to be really hard for you as an employer to fire your employee. And when you make it harder for you as an employer to fire an employee, you are going to be far more picky about who you employ.
Sure.
You are also probably going to employ less people. The government also introduced increased taxes on employment. So employment taxes, we call them national insurance contributions. Now, those taxes, the government was saying, well, these are employment taxes. The employers pay it. But the employers pay it based on how many employees they have. So it's every single person they hire, they pay more for. And if they increase their wages, they pay more of those taxes. Now, when the government says you've got to increase these taxes, you've got to pay more of this money, but don't worry, it won't affect workers, the money comes from somewhere. It doesn't just magically appear out of thin air. And of course, businesses tend to hire less people. They also tend to hire more experienced people, so it tends to be older people. And now we have a situation where millions of young people are not in education, employment, or training. So it's just gone up to, I believe it was 13.5% was the Office for National Statistics figures at the end of May, the last time I checked. The last time I wrote about it for Reason, it was slightly lower. So it is increasing. Yeah. And we're talking about just over 1 million. So just over 1 million, 16 to 24-year-olds are out of work, not in education, employment, or training. So literally doing nothing. And on universal credit, they are on government benefits. So other taxpayers are obviously paying for them to do so. Now, the reason why that's, of course, a problem, I know that, I'm sure you've discussed this very much in your show. Work creates dignity, it creates hope, it creates a reason to get up in the morning. And we currently have a situation where millions of young people are being told that they aren't good enough. They don't have the right to have those kind of employment opportunities because the government have told them they must be protected from ever having to deal with any kind of uncertainty. And it means that they never get those opportunities in the first place. They are being consigned to a lifetime of worklessness, to a lifetime of idleness.
Reem, you pointed out, and I saw the statistics from one of your Reason articles, that 50% of the economy of the UK is government spending. I think we are at 26, 22, I forget where the number is that we're generating out here in the United States. But everything that we see coming from Seattle, New York, Washington now is going to have somebody from the Socialist Party will be in there. L.A. will also most likely have a socialist mayor. And it's the idea generally that the government will provide everything for you. You don't need to worry about it necessarily, and you just put us in there, and we will redistribute wealth. I wanted to ask you about this. You said people are saying, this is where it comes to the populist movement, people are saying we'd rather be poor than lose our national identity. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, so I think that when it comes to sort of shifting the blame for a lot of these issues, a lot of the easy solutions tend to be things like immigration. And look, whatever your perspectives are on immigration, the UK has had very high levels of immigration, and a lot of those people were not allowed to work. So one of the key differences, again, this is a lesson for America, one of the key differences between America and the UK, partly because of America's far more free and flexible labor market, you are able to get hired and fired. But also, as an immigrant, if you are a legal immigrant into the US, you are working. If you are an undocumented immigrant, you are not claiming Social Security for the most part. You're not claiming benefits for the most part. In the UK, that's a very different story. If you are a legal migrant, you are often a dependent and you absolutely can claim benefits, which means that a lot of these people are literally idle as well. So in the UK, I mean, from my perspective, I think that this isn't an immigration problem in itself. It is a problem of the state. It is a problem of the government creating welfare dependency. And there are enormous studies that show this. But crucially, if you are a white British person that can trace back their heritage hundreds of years in England, and you see the sort of country around you changing, and you yourself are unemployed or cannot find work, or are being told that you're too sick to work, then you are going to start shifting the blame to immigration. And in some cases, I do think that there is a rightful sort of criticism of that, because there is so many people that are able to claim what is British taxpayer money. And the reason why I describe this as a lot of people feeling as though they've lost their sort of sense of nationhood is because in the UK, there seems to be a sense, especially on the right of politics, that it is a zero-sum game. We want to reduce immigration because we've lost our national identity. And yes, that might mean we're poor, but I'm okay with that. And I think it's really something I've been sort of trying to argue against, I suppose, is the idea that it is a zero-sum game. I absolutely think that Britain can be very wealthy and very successful and can grow on par with America, as it did before 2008, by the way.
Yes.
But it doesn't. And this is not a coincidence. This is not just something that has happened out of thin air. It is not because the UK is a smaller island or any other reason people bring up. It is because of government policy. And I must tell you, John, how much this has really angered me, especially this week. I moved to the US in January this year, and this is my second time visiting London again after moving. And every time I come back, it's lovely to see family, it's lovely to see friends, it's lovely to come back to Westminster and see the whole political bubble again. But actually, I am so angry by how utterly disgraceful the country is being run. But also, I kept telling myself, we don't have to live like this. We don't have to make poor policy decisions. And just one very, I think, like specific example that just sort of encapsulates all of this is right now it is at about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The UK is experiencing a massive heat wave. And it is at the top of all of the news outlets this week because we don't know how to handle heat. We don't have air conditioning, partly because our energy costs are so high, partly because of government policy.
Right.
We've completely banned fracking in the North Sea. We've made it very difficult for us to produce our own domestic supply of energy. And yes, it sounds great to all these lovely politicians that want to talk about how we're saving the environment. But in fact, what it means is that old pensioners can't heat their homes in the winter. And all of us in the summer can't go to work or school. My younger sister's school is closed because of the heat. They cannot do basic things because we are so poor. America, listen to what the UK has done to itself.
Reem, you're basically saying that if you continue in the same direction you're going, this is like Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, please, Spirit, tell me that these are not the images that will come before me. This is, if you have a government that grows to the size that 50% of the economy is driven by the government, and if you have 1 out of 4 people not working, the government's paying them not to work, and if you have immigrants in and you pay them, and then you have high green energy costs, and people are heating their homes with wood, that those forces that we see in the UK, that is now, if we were to adopt you into our 51st state, you would be below Mississippi as far as GDP per individual is concerned, that we should be able to look forward to where you are now and say, if the forces that are now sort of gaining momentum there in New York and Washington, LA, and here in Seattle, that, verily, verily, I say unto you, but there for you is where I have been. That is, unfortunately, the writing on the wall for the United States. I don't think it's going to go as badly for us. It'll take longer. But we are close to the end of our wonderful republic. I think that the end, when Rome falls, the Empire of Rome falls, but you could see how the UK fell as well. How do you go from being the most powerful and strongest nation in the world to below Mississippi, right? It's a slow decline. And unfortunately, I don't think you guys have another Margaret Thatcher waiting in the wings anywhere.
No, unfortunately, you're absolutely right. Part of the interesting thing, you mentioned the fact that if the UK was to join the US as the 51st state, it would be the 51st poorest state. So the think tank that I used to work for when I was in London, the Institute of Economic Affairs, conducted some polling. And they asked Brits, where do you think you would rank? Where do you think the UK would rank? And they all thought that they would rank about 7th. In the US. So Brits think that they are about 7th, but they're actually 51st. And I do think that this is indicative of a sort of cultural shift. There is sort of a sort of aspect of British culture that is very, very pro being poor. And it's really hard for me to explain this to Americans, because I feel like when I go to America and I listen to Americans talk about finances and economics and wealth, they say, yes, I've got a ranch back home and I've got 5 cows and 8 horses and I'm so rich, I'm rolling in dollars. And they love it. You know, it's sort of seen as something to sort of promote and to be very proud of. But in the UK, it is the complete opposite. You would never talk about how much money you had. And actually being successful, being ambitious is frowned upon. And it's a really, really interesting cultural difference that I've only really discovered since moving to the US.
Well, Reem, in order for us to continue to make money so we can pay for our horses, we have to take a commercial break and we have to do that. But I have to tell you something. I was going to apologize for having you up at midnight, but man, you got more energy than anybody. God love you. Hang in there. We're going to be celebrating our 250th birthday away from you guys when we decided we just didn't want to be apart. Maybe we made the best decision and we should learn from your mistakes and not have them here in the United States. Please agree to come back on again, and we'll see you back in Northern Virginia, okay?
Absolutely. I would love that.
Thanks, Reem. Appreciate your time. There she goes. All right, here comes Nathan. Check your traffic, Nathan.
All right, John, we're improving through Everett. That's good news. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. In fact, northbound 529 is completely cleared out. Northbound I-5 is now bumper to bumper from the mall as opposed to 128th. Up to Broadway, you'll catch a break and then another backup from the Snohomish River into Marysville. Everett to Marysville, just under 20 minutes. Eastbound 526, we're still stop and go between Seaview Boulevard and I-5. South 5 heading into Seattle, we're packed at Lake City Way to I-90. Still about 25 minutes from Linwood in the downtown. North 5 is thick just past that Michigan curve in the downtown. Seattle to Federal Way, a 40-minute commute. You're heavy from MLK Junior Way all the way to 516. And Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. If you drive this route, you'll notice those big backups of old through JBLM are no longer there because this week WashDOT opened the brand new HOV lanes. And right now there is only a minor backup through JBLM. Right now, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is giving the first 40 June signups with 5 or more windows a free patio door plus 12 months free financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Ooh, it is hot outside.
Western Washington is under a heat advisory.
So yeah, stay hydrated and stay with KIRO News Radio for updates on our record heat wave.
If we get to 90, it'd be the second time this June that we've done that.
Together with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather.
It's going to be interesting here for the next couple of days.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
In the Northwest 20 years ago, 90 was forget about it.
The KIRO News Radio app and your smart speaker.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Every day, caregivers change lives. Caregiving offers flexibility, rewarding work, and the chance to make a real difference in your community. If you've been a caregiver before, now is the perfect time to return to this meaningful career and continue making an impact. Washington needs more caregivers, and your compassion, work ethic, and ability to connect with people could be the answer. Turn your care for others into a career you'll love. Visit caregivercareerswa.com for resources and support to start or return to your caregiving career today.
Sponsored by DSHS and aired by the WSAB in this station.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. World Cup crowds once again converge on Seattle from all over the world.
London, England. Salt Lake City. Frankfurt.
Hong Kong. London.
They watched Bosnia take down Qatar 3-1 at Seattle Stadium. For many Bosnian fans, it meant so much more than just a soccer match.
I was actually born in Germany. We escaped as refugees from the war. My dad was in a concentration camp and survived that, and it just means so much because he's here with us as well.
And with today's win, Bosnia has a very good shot at advancing to the knockout round where they could face the USA. Meantime, the Seattle waterfront has never been this busy. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker on the huge number of fans visiting the area since the World Cup kicked off.
451,172. Those are the visits from June 11 to June 21st, the first day of summer. A big driver was obviously the epic Friday, June the 19th. We're going to be talking about that day in Seattle for years with the U.S. versus Aussie matchup.
And city officials say more than 84,000 people visited Waterfront Park on Friday alone. Behind the scenes, the TSA has been enhancing security lines at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport for the World Cup. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
If you thought air marshals only handled in-flight security, well, think again. They're also keeping you and me safe from potential drone attacks during World Cup matches. Fans in downtown Seattle and those traveling in and out of SEA. And the TSA's Adam Stahl says that includes enhanced security lines at SEA.
They are protecting, again, airports,
the airspace at large as well as airplanes within the airspace.
SEA hit a record for passenger volume 3 times last week during World Cup action. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
As we approach our nation's 250th birthday, a success story about 2 bald eagles. The young eaglets were taken from a hazardous nest near power lines recently. The nurse back to health at Wazoo's veterinary hospital.
This is a great time to just give a little thought to things we can do to support the bald eagle that means so much to us.
That is veterinarian Marcy Logsden. She says the eaglets are thriving now in a foster nest with the new eagle family. To the traffic desk now at 4:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Subaru of Puyallup has the update. Up in Everett, North 5, we're bumper to bumper from the Everett Mall up to Broadway. You're going to catch a little breather, and then another backup starts at the Snohomish River. Up into Marysville, all added up, Everett to Marysville, just under a 20-minute drive. Now, eastbound 526, we're still struggling between Seaview Boulevard and I-5. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, still an hour. South 5 heading into Seattle jams up at Lake City Way to I-90. Linwood to Seattle's a 25-minute commute. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, plan on 40 minutes. And South 5 in Tukwila at your ramp to northbound 405. A collision blocks the HOV lane on the off-ramp, and we've got a thick backup starting at the Boeing Access Road to the scene. Once you get through this, there's another solid backup from about 178th to 516. Seattle to Federal Way, a 40-minute drive. Subaru Puyallup has dependable, fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. Find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Forecast now, another hot afternoon. This is the final day of our heat wave, though. The heat warning ends at 11 o'clock tonight. Come tomorrow, increasing clouds, a big cool down. Showers and breezy on Friday. But right now, 87 and sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News wants to help you keep more of your money. Every day you'll see stories to help you save big on expenses like gas, groceries, and housing. We're alerting you to new scams so you can protect more of what's yours. When it comes to your wallet, KIRO 7 has your back. Watch weeknights at 4, 5, 6, and 7 p.m. or see money-saving stories at KIRO7.com/money.
Wow. All of that. Well said, well read, Joe. Bucky's. I got a car. Taking it to Bucky's. Yeah, I got 16 locations, 51 years.
If you go to Bucky's right now. If you go to Bucky's right now.
Take that car to Bucky's. Take that car to Bucky's. All the crowd said, my car's breaking down.
Not anymore.
Smoke pouring out the back end.
Take it to Bucky's.
It's like Nate with his smoking car.
Should've gone to Bucky's.
Took his car to Bucky's.
It's smoking hot now.
Took his car to Bucky's.
Well,
loves his car. Practically married to the car he took to Bucky's. Here's Nate's story.
That's right. I couldn't even afford all that money it cost to fix that darn thing, but it was worth it. And Bucky's, they helped me out with a little financing. That's right.
Financing from Bucky's.
That's it. If you can't afford it, they will help you out.
Take the car to Bucky's. Bucky's. All the service centers. All right, there we go, Joe. Thank you for that one, Andrew.
Ooh.
Wow. Man,
Imagine if they gave us that track in a studio.
Oh, come on. With Nate, his story. Kratom. I see this, by the way, little town of Cleellum, the Clum, as we know, have outlawed Kratom. You can't get Kratom at the, be stopping by one of our 16 gas stations.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
It's like a city ordinance or something?
Yes, Joe. That's when the government's not going bankrupt there. Every once in a while, they come up with a good idea. You can't get it.
Huh.
Stuff's nasty. And it's the power of the lobbying part of our free economy. Stop now. Here's what happened. The people from the Kratom Association, do we have some of the sound on this thing? The battle that took place? So there's two different. So Kratom is it's a drug it's a plant that, and then it's natural product, and then people have been able to produce a man-made synthetic version of
Very
the thing.
concentrated synthetic version.
And it's nasty, highly addictive. People say, "Oh, I get on, I feel better, it takes care of pain and stuff." But man, once you get hooked on this stuff, you got a real serious problem. So what happened was the Kratom lobby went to the FDA and said, "Now listen, we're good. We're natural. We're a derivative of these leaves and stuff. But you want to stop the Kratom people that are making it that it's man-made stuff." So the FDA is like, "Yeah, okay." So they made the man-made stuff, the bad stuff, but it's still basically the same stuff.
Exactly the same. It's just a concentrated version.
The New York Times reported on it.
Kratom is a natural substance that comes from this leaf. It's legal in most states and available in drinks like this one made by a company called Botanic Tonics. It's marketed as a natural supplement that can boost mood, energy, and focus, and it's sold more than 130 million servings since 2020. But public health experts say that Kratom can be addictive. And the company is seeing their sales eroded by a synthetic and more potent strain of the drug called 7-OH. The owner of Botanic Tonics is a guy by the name of J.W. Ross. After the 2024 election, he launched an influence campaign to try to court Trump officials to shift scrutiny from natural Kratom and toward its rival.
Yeah, so you get all that. So then, last year the FDA announced a crackdown on the bad stuff, the villain.
In July of 2025, the Food and Drug Administration announced a major initiative to crack down on 7-OH, the rival drug to Kratom.
We are initiating action to recommend scheduling of 7-OH as a controlled substance.
The FDA even emphasized that its goal was not going after natural Kratom, even though public health officials have warned about its dangers as well. Mullen also took the stage and railed against the risks of 7-OH.
It's legal, but it's an addiction that's ruining lives.
Is there any difference between the natural and the man-made?
No, only the 7-OH is just a little highly more concentrated, but you can get very high concentrated versions of the natural stuff too.
Isn't it amazing? You go into a gas station, just pick that stuff up, and then you could find yourself within 3 months or sooner addicted to it. And the lady that they were talking about in the article I read, she was having to wake up numerous times a night to take some so that she wasn't having withdrawals when she woke up in the morning.
Yeah, I got addicted to this stuff in 2015 and dealt with the Kratom addiction for almost 10 years, I would say. And I started, a friend of mine was using it and I didn't have any idea what it was. And I started taking, and he got me to try some one time. I'm like, oh, wow, this feels just like an opiate. Like this feels like a Oxycontin or something, or oxycodone. And it does if you take enough of it. And in one sense, I think there's an actual good use for it, because if you are a hard opiate addict, a heroin addict, or something like that, you can use this to kind of wean off of that, and it's not going to kill you. Some people have died from doing just obscene amounts of it in weird circumstances, but it's much safer. But it's also highly, highly addictive.
Aren't you trading one addiction for another?
Yes, absolutely. You are. But one of them is likely to kill you. The other one is not.
Yeah.
So there's a benefit there, but they should also advertise how addictive this stuff can be, because it's so easy to get. It's so cheap. It's available. Like any gas station you walk in probably sells it. And there's no warning whatsoever. I mean, nobody takes the recommended amount, which they list. But it does have a benefit, so I don't know that scheduling it as a narcotic is the right move. But they should absolutely require these companies to say how addictive they are, just like they do with cigarettes or anything else.
Well, so I was looking at Cle Elum City Council adopted emergency moratorium on Kratom sales October 2025, then made it permanent in January 2026 by adding a full ban municipal code. So you can't get it. So what's happening is, rather than the federal government coming in and saying no, they're allowing each state to determine what they want to do with it. I saw it sitting there on the shelf. Well, if it's at a gas station, it can't be bad for you. And then I saw what it did to you, Joe, and then you had to take off for a few days. And man, I remember checking in on you. You were like,
and that was nothing. When I first started using this stuff, I would just loved it. I took it every single day, and probably 4 or 5 times a day. I think I was taking like 60 grams a day, which is a ridiculous amount. It's a ridiculous habit. I should have considered that, hey, there might be consequences for this. But until I ran out one day, I had no idea. And then I'm sweating and I'm going into full withdrawal, exactly as I'd experienced with heroin, except it can last even longer than traditional opiate withdrawal. It's brutal. It's insidious because you don't think there's anything wrong with it. Next thing you know, you're just completely addicted.
The woman that was highlighted in the article said she was spending $600 a week on this stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of these things. It's there, but realize just because it's for sale and because no one has said that you can't have it.
Yeah, more people need to know about it. I was buying it by the kilo.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Get it out of your car before you take it to Buc-ee's.
That's right.
Here's Nate checking traffic. Nate.
All right. This is brought to you by 1-800-DUIOA. Seattle to Everett, plan on 50 minutes. It's crowded from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett is going to take you an hour with scattered backups from Bellevue through Canyon Park. Now, North 5 through Seattle. We're bumper to bumper approaching the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle is a 20-minute trip on 520, 25 minutes on I-90. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes, and you're jam-packed from 520 all the way down to 112 before you start to catch a break. And North 405, you're going to slow in the south end from South Center through the Renton S-curves. In Tukwila, we just cleared that crash. South 5, the off-ramp to northbound 405. The backups are quickly thinning out, but Seattle to Federal Way is still going to take you right around 40 minutes. Serving the Pacific Northwest for over 30 years with hundreds of 5-star reviews, 1-800-DUIOA.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Hey, John Curley here. You know, it's time to replace or add a cooling system. You got three real big concerns, right? Who's going to do the work? Will the equipment going in be put in there properly? Is it the best investment? These are the big questions, and the best answers for you come from Home Comfort Alliance. And I can say that without hesitation, award-winning friendly service, expert licensed installers come into your home and treat your home just like their own home. The equipment is the best. And Home Comfort Alliance recommends Carrier. For many reasons, Carrier leads the industry when it comes to efficiency and dependability. You're going to get lower energy bills, quieter operation, and the system is built to handle the hottest summer days, and you won't even break a sweat. And it's a wonderful investment in your house. This is exactly what they did for us. A Carrier heat pump came into the barn there, and Home Comfort Alliance did some absolutely amazing work, making sure everything fit. You can save thousands and thousands, $3,000 in PSA rebates. You want to turn to the experts, Carrier and Home Comfort Alliance. For heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs, you call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on!
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Spring is here, and it's time to call Integrity Roofing and Construction, your trusted local roofing team. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected all season long. Spike O'Neill here. Visit IntegrityRC.com to schedule a free roof assessment and video inspection today. Serving our community with over 10 years experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with everything from simple roof repair to full renovation. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com or call 206-202-ROOF.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Always exhausted, loud snoring, keeping your partner awake? You could have sleep apnea and not even know it. South Seattle Smiles has a comfortable solution with no CPAP required. Most medical insurance accepted. Call 206-241-5533 today. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to ClosetSbyDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN. The John Curley Show. Marcos Casino Resort Text Line. 1-888-973-5476. Well, here this guy's got the record. Took it from this woman in the Guinness. Guinness has decided that this guy deserves to be recognized as the loudest. What is he? Loudest person with at 122.4 decibels. Joseph McGrail of Australia, professional air conditioner cleaner and honorary town crier, now recognized as the world's loudest person. No! Wow, big build up to that. He Matinee, the town crier, told AP of his technique. Oh, here we're going to learn the technique. Okay.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Now, this is prior to radio and newspaper. That you'd have the town crier that would tell you everything. That's
where you
got
it.
Very similar to this.
There's no way that you can actually practice for it. You have to just keep it for the day, especially with the world record attempt. It took me 7 attempts just for one word, which was the word now, and my voice was shot for the next couple of days as well. It was husky. It was terrible. My lords, my ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Canberra.
Okay, so he beats this woman. Previously, hers is, you can probably tell the difference. He was 122.4. You can see the difference. She's at 121.7.
Annalisa claims she can reach volumes even louder than a pneumatic drill.
Sounds like my wife. Go
clinic!
My name's Annalisa, and I can shout louder than anybody else.
Not anymore. Oh, God. Oh, this is unnecessary. She's a school teacher. Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah, that last one, by the way, was her.
So that was 1:15. Annalisa's shout really was louder than a pneumatic drill by a full decibel.
Yeah, so when she won in 1994, I think it's when she first set the record, she yelled, quiet. Quiet.
Quiet.
There used to be that old Cheech and Chong joke, which was the teacher. It's quiet. The class. You ever heard that?
Nope.
Yeah. No one knows it? Really? God, sometimes I wish I wasn't so old.
I know a lot of Cheech and Chong, but...
It was from Dr. Demento, and it was class, quiet. No? Okay, maybe I'm streaming it.
By the way, another world record that I think could have been attainable for you.
You just yelling?
Sure. How hard could that be?
I was going to try to pick up like a kettlebell with my eyebrow. I've noticed I'm getting these weird long eyebrow hairs. I'm going to try that one. Okay, here's Nate with traffic. Nathan.
Okay. Tacoma to Olympia. We're closing in on a 50-minute commute. 2-mile backup through JBLM and then another 4-mile backup between Lacey and Olympia. Federal Way to Tacoma at 25 minutes. It's solid from South 320th all the way to State Route 16. If you're heading out toward Gig Harbor, westbound 16, you're slow from mid-span on the narrows up past Willotchet. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways, a 40-minute commute. We're thinning down in the north end, but the south end, per usual, is still pretty heavy between Algona into Puyallup. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. It's jam-packed from 520 through Factoria. You'll thin out, but you're not in the clear till you get down toward the Renton Landing. And North 405 slows from South Center through the Renton S-curves. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate Connors. If shoulder, an elbow, an ankle, a wrist, knee, whatever it is bugging you, to the point that you're not able to enjoy all of your normal summer activities. Maybe you don't play tennis anymore. Can't go with the pickleball because your knees are too bad. You weren't able to ski or play golf or just enjoy yourself out for a walk or a hike. Even picking up the grandkids is a problem because your shoulders bother you or your elbow, the ankle, the wrist, and you start to think, well, maybe I should go get an operation. And then you start to hear about that. And you think, well, am I going to get full recovery of the shoulder? Is my hip going to feel better? And then you think, what else could you possibly do? Well, I can tell you from my personal experience, the guy to see is Dr. Mark Wagner. He's at Saddle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. He has been practicing medicine for 30 years, but you want to talk to him about stem cells. He's done 20,000 of them, 20,000 procedures. It's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. And if a stem cell is right for you, that is the man. That's the doctor to see. Let's get that shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee working again. Go see drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Who's ready to celebrate America's 250th birthday? I bet a bunch of you are heading to the beach. It's going to be a crazy weekend down at the beach on the Oregon and Washington coasts. There are a few common mistakes people make every single year, and they just don't get better at it. I'll have what those tips are and how not to ruin your holiday tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Well, I'm sure by now you've heard interviews with a whole lot of people who took the First Mark Challenge and saved so much money on their insurance and got better coverage too. We call them First Mark victories. Well, I took the First Mark Challenge too, and I'm thrilled to say that First Mark is saving us thousands. Now that's what I call a victory. You know, I was with the same agent for so long, I simply assumed they were working hard to get me the best coverage and save me money. But it wasn't the case, and you should find out too by taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge. First Mark works for you, not the insurance carriers. First Mark will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage, which could leave you at risk for financial loss. Then they carefully search the market, dozens of major carriers to find you the best fit, and that's it. First Mark Insurance has helped thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance and save them thousands, me included. Be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Take the First Mark Challenge right now. It's totally free. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Hartley Wilcox here. Do you know where your food comes from? If it's perishable, you should read the package. Wilcox Farms eggs are locally fresh from Washington. For the freshest choice, choose Wilcox Family Farms.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. There was supposed to be a celebration. President Trump was expected to sign the bipartisan bill to address the high cost of homes, but he backed off, saying Congress has to pass his Save America voting bill first. The president also on Capitol Hill, meeting with Senate Republicans in what turned into a shouting match. Trump dressing down the Senate Republicans in what turned into that match and talking about the Iran War Powers resolution. Bill Cassidy was one of those who voted against the president.
He asked, why would anybody vote for the War Powers Act? As he continued, I said, is that a rhetorical question, or would you like to really know?
The Justice Department announced one of its biggest healthcare fraud crackdowns ever. More than 450 people, $6 billion in alleged scams. A strong 7.1 magnitude earthquake rattling the coast of Venezuela this evening, damaging buildings in the capital, triggering a tsunami advisory. This is ABC News. The Department of Health and Human Services confirms the federal government's hantavirus response has ended with no positive cases in the U.S., and no one remains under public health monitoring for exposure. The Los Angeles Public School Board adopted one of the strictest policies cutting back on screen time in class, starting with a ban before second grade.
Once kids reach the second grade, they'll be allowed to spend 1 hour and 40 minutes on devices each week. That amount increases as they get older, eventually reaching 10 hours a week in high school. Parents and teachers have raised concern about an over-reliance on technology in school, worrying that digital instruction is replacing hands-on learning and social interaction.
ABC's Rena Roy reporting. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has invited 529 members to the Oscar voting body. It brings the group's membership to nearly double what it was a decade ago. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Coming up, Seattle wraps up another World Cup match. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Everett to Marysville, a 20-minute trip. You're crowded from 526 to 529 still, and now northbound 529 is packed again between the Snohomish River and Marysville. As far as I can tell, this is just volume. Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 5 minutes, 50 to Linwood. You're solid from 520 up to 527 in Canyon Park. It's pretty heavy there once you get into Bothell. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes, half hour to Linwood. You're crowded from Northgate all the way up past 164th there in Mill Creek, and it's real thick through Shoreline. Coming southbound, Linwood to Seattle, a half hour. You're bumper to bumper, Ravenna Boulevard to I-90, but then there's also more slowing through Linwood, adding to this as well. North 5, you're going to get heavy at the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. It's bumper to bumper from 520 all the way to 112th, and then from there you'll thin out, but you're not in the clear till you get into the S-curves, and North 405 is slow from South Center through those Renton S-curves. The support brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer, presented by T-Mobile. Next up is the Patriotic Show, July 3rd. Get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. It is a day Bosnian soccer fans will forever cherish.
It's a surreal experience.
They watched their nation's soccer team take down Qatar in a World Cup match at Seattle Stadium. Final score 3-1. This fan tells us it was a raucous scene at the final whistle.
We smell like beer now because the celebrations were throwing beer at everybody, but there was a lot of singing of songs, just a fun crowd.
Bosnia now closing in on the knockout round. If results hold, their next match could be against USA. King County prosecutors have now charged a 15-year-old boy in connection with the deadly shooting of a 16-year-old girl. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minglavin reports.
This happened back on June 3rd outside the Aliso Apartments in Kent. We are not naming the suspect because they're a minor. Prosecutors say those shots were fired after a meeting between two groups of teens described as members of rival gangs. The victim was in a group of teens hanging out nearby. Investigators were able to track the suspect down using video and cell phone records.
And that boy will be back in court tomorrow. Seattle police are calling an overnight shooting that left a 15-year-old boy in serious condition accidental. This happened just before 11 last night near North 93rd in Aurora. Detectives say the teen driver was shot inside a car when a backseat passenger mishandled a handgun. So far, the gunman has not been found. The shooting following weeks of complaints in that same area, forcing Seattle leaders to act. City Council member Deborah Juarez.
I think it's just unfortunate, and I'm just going to be straightforward about this. They had to get to this point to have legislation to make an emergency to do what the mayor's office could always have done.
City Council committee approved the plan yesterday, allowing police to close streets in that area impacted by shootings, drugs, and prostitution. And an Everett teenager is getting some justice after an online scam. Police say he was paid in fake $20 bills for 2 remote-controlled planes worth over $1,200. Using license plate reader technology, detectives tracked down his suspects, recovered one of those stolen planes from a pawn shop. To your forecast now, sunshine at this hour, more clouds for tomorrow, though, and then increasing clouds overnight with rain on the way for Friday. Right now, 87 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is it. This is it.
Class.
That's it. Cheech and Chong.
Good morning, class.
Yeah, see, there we go. This is comedy back in 72. Yeah. We thought it was
Thank you.
Yeah, Sister Mary Elephant. It's forever. For all the old folks out there that enjoy the great comedy of the 1970s. Calling Dr. Demento, the Dr. Demento Show.
That's where Weird Al got his start. Right?
Did he?
Yeah.
My brother, he didn't realize about long-distance calls. He calls the Dr. Demento Show probably to request that stupid thing or something else. Something eating pigeons in the park or some other dumb thing. And he was on hold for 45 minutes. And then he told my sister, and then she said, oh my gosh, the bill's going to be huge. So every day, Chuck would run to the mailbox and then try to wait for the bill to come in. And then he got it and tore it up and threw it in the garbage. And I guess they got it the next bill. But he said it was like $43. That's possible, right?
Yeah.
Waiting on hold back then?
Absolutely. It sounds about right.
Hey, let me know when we're on the air. All right. I don't have to bother anybody with those boring stories. Are we on?
Sure, why not?
All right, there we go. John Curley Show, driving in the day. We are still waiting. As you know, there was a psychic that predicted it's today in Miami at a sporting event, 700 people would be beamed up from the field into one of the motherships and then probed. And right now, the game is over between Scotland and
Brazil.
And there's been no probing.
No beaming.
No beaming, no probing. And Aaron thought he was Mr. Smarty Pants saying, I believe that stadium is got a roof on it. But oh, no. You don't think the aliens could get around that?
They could. There is no roof. I lied.
Yeah.
So,
You didn't lie.
I just didn't know.
Yeah. All right. So no probing going on for those people that are concerned. 700 people will be taken from the field of play. The Washington man accused of I guess it's the third or fourth that's been sucked in on the plot that was supposed to be taking place. This is on the president's birthday when they had the UFC fight that was going on. So this 21-year-old Belfair guy really seems sort of lost, doesn't he? Get you the sense that this guy kind of needs a good scrubbing and a kick in the ass. The news of Jeremy Harris.
The FBI says 21-year-old William Faulkner was part of
Jeremy Harris.
I know. I was going to get to Jeremy Harris reports.
Conspiracy to attack the White House and kill high-ranking government officials during the UFC fight held earlier this month. New charges filed in federal court allege Faulkner and other co-conspirators plotted online to use attack drones to drop explosive charges at the UFC fight, then shoot people as they fled from the bombs. The charges say Faulkner claimed he had a contact who was already making 3D printed drones for the attack. The FBI was so concerned that Faulkner already had drones, they arrested him right before the start of the Team USA World Cup match in Seattle on Friday morning.
Because of the potential threat that he posed and everything else that was happening in Seattle, we decided it was time to take action.
Prosecutors say online chatter between the men who were planning the attacks included steps to protect the drones from interference of counter-drone defense technology around the White House, and said it would, quote, be a bloodbath.
We don't take action on everything that we hear on chatter. The FBI is very good about discerning when something rises to the level of potential action, and that's what happened in this case because there was something more than just talking online.
Yeah. So then Brandy Cruz from Undivided, she digs in and goes online to see if he has any online presence, and this is what Brandy was able to find.
21-year-old William Faulkner will be held in detention ahead of trial. He's unemployed and lives with his grandmother in Belfair.
That could be a job. Live with your grandma? I mean, you don't get paid, but you should, get a house and get a place to stay and probably enjoy 85-degree temperature inside because grandmas tend to keep the heat up and the TV always on 24 hours a day.
Oh, grandma.
Oh, Nana. Okay.
Federal prosecutors allege he had anti-government ideology. Prosecutors say this was more than just online chatter. They had taken significant steps toward obtaining attack drones, and very similar to what Iran does with attack drones. Forgive me for my language, but I think it's important to understand the inner workings of the minds of some of these young men who they're from all across the country. And they were connected via these dark corners of the internet and conspired together to attack this event. So William Faulkner, again, 21 years old, he had a very limited public online profile.
And I got to say, we're doing radio here, but I looked at the video of the guy. He didn't look like somebody that you would go to build a...
No.
What's that look for? This would be the first guy you'd call to come up with to make a drone and then bombs on the drone, right?
Absolutely.
There's just a couple things that were able to be tied to him. One was an Instagram account, and this was the only post on his Instagram account. He said, going to the No Kings protest in Cal Anderson Park in Seattle tomorrow. The signs read, again, forgive me for my language, I bring my meat to Nazis. Make me Seattle. Says, no love for fascist pigs. Happy birthday, Donnie. McTiny Hands, I hope it's all you wanted, in some very disturbing images accompanying it. Clearly someone who is not well, I would say. But if there were any questions about what his political ideology is, I think getting aroused by the idea of who you consider to be Nazis and fascists, which is clearly Donald Trump and his supporters, is concerning.
He looks like a kind of guy that would have like a pet iguana or a snake.
A couple of snakes, maybe a rat.
Well, they have rats because they feed them. But the kind of guy that would and then go around. You've seen them. They're walking around Green Lake and they're carrying a snake around their neck just so that people stop and talk to them. Like he's also invented his own type of karate.
Like he works at a pet store.
Yeah, that's what he looks like. Okay. And I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying, just trying to paint a picture for everybody. Because now here he is. Then Brady finds on YouTube, oh my gosh, he's talking about the alien encounter.
In the past couple of days that were instigated by evidence and information that I've processed that's come from the government and whistleblowers in the government. What a close encounter of the fifth kind is in human-initiated contact with an extraterrestrial civilization.
Okay.
Dr. Stephen Greer says that we are in possession of the mental ability to contact these things, every one of us.
Okay. Well, anyway, he'll have plenty of time, while I assume in prison, to be contacting whoever he wants to contact there. So the Belfair man, who was supposed to be working on the drones, had been part of the attack there at the fight happened in the UFC, where Trump is going to be there, living with his grandmother. No job, no work history.
Look, I think these guys met in a Discord chat or something.
Your theory is that just a bunch of losers sitting around, the FBI sees him, sweeps him up.
Well, the mother of one of the guys,
the guy in Ohio.
Yeah, here's her son talking about it and calls, I think, the Secret Service. And they investigate it and they're kind of handling it, and I think it's one of probably dozens per month similar to this that they get. But then once they kind of moved in and actually made an arrest, then Kash Patel tweets out that, we foiled this huge terrorist plot. And I think that's a stretch. I don't think these guys were anywhere near. I don't think they were going to find a drone within a mile of any of these guys.
That guy, then Belfair, is the mastermind.
If that's true, then yeah, they weren't going to get anywhere near the White House. I think they probably wanted to. I'm not saying that they weren't, they didn't have ill intentions, but these are morons. And I think that the media has definitely, I blame this on Kash Patel. And even the guy in the Secret Service said, hey, we keep things like this under the wraps. This is what we do. We protect the president.
I wonder what they end up getting, well, they get charged with, right, conspiracy for a terrorist attack, but they didn't actually do it, but even talking about it, right?
Yeah, I think that especially now, and they're with the way that kind of this administration is using the domestic terrorist kind of framework, I think they're probably looking at decades maybe. They'll make an example of them, but I honestly don't think they were anywhere near pulling this off. Certainly not what they planned with these explosive drones and sniping people.
Well, the guy that who thought he was, or I think he still thinks he's a woman, that attempted to kill Gorsuch, the Supreme Court justice, went to his house, had a knife, had a gun, left a manifesto of why he wanted to do it. So that guy got, you ready? 8 years. 8 years.
Did he? I don't know this story. Did he actually attack him? Or
no? Didn't get into the house. What happened? He had second thoughts, and then the police picked him up. He was wandering around outside of the justice's home, and then they caught him. He had all that stuff with him. He had a big manifesto of why he wanted to do. He traveled, I think, from Washington. He came from this state, went all the way to D.C., was in the neighborhood there, and was planning on breaking in. He had zip tie and tape and everything else. But then his defense was, Well, he's got mental problems. He thinks he's a woman, and it's going to be very difficult for him if he goes into prison and he identifies as a woman. So it's going to be really hard on him. So and I think one of the other judges or the prosecution said, "Come on, really? 8 years? You get 8 years? That's it?" The guy that shot at the ICE, remember it was in Dallas, where the ICE guys were brought out of the, I guess the building they were in. They're shooting off firecrackers and stuff. And then they had snipers set up behind trees taking shots at them. The one guy, that guy just got 100 years.
Yeah, a lot of the Antifa terrorist cells, as they're calling them, which I think a lot of those are ridiculously
Why'd you air quotes around that?
Because I don't believe that Antifa is an organized terrorist organization.
Oh, they're just an idea? Joe, what do you mean you don't believe in them? It's not like the Easter Bunny out there.
I don't believe that they're certainly not like any like Al Qaeda or any major domestic terror organization.
What's the difference between you don't think they're domestic terrorists?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think they're organized and going
loosely? There's no
the guys in Dallas that wasn't organized.
No, that was, and that's a specific.
And that's Antifa.
But there's also anybody protesting in any certain circumstances can call themselves Antifa.
Well, what has to be what categories need to be checked in order for that person to be a domestic terrorist?
The acts of domestic terrorism.
Okay. Like, for instance, trying to set a building on fire, a federal building on fire in Oregon,
probably
in Portland.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's getting close. But
yeah,
wearing all black and black bloc uniform. No, absolutely not.
It's just not what you wear. But then,
that's what they're in Texas. They just gave people 50 years because they were at a protest wearing all black, and so they said, "Oh, you're part of the Antifa terrorist organization."
Well, don't be bringing that stuff down to Texas.
Well, now they know. But that seems ridiculous.
Interfering with police activity, throwing things at police, assaulting police.
Absolutely not.
No.
So
when you go in there and you try to stop ICE from doing their job, you're not interfering with federal law enforcement.
No, you are, but you're not a domestic terrorist.
Okay. What are they intending to do?
Interfere with law enforcement?
Right. And what do they ultimately would like to do? You never read any of the sort of the stuff, their general idea of anarchists and trying to smash out fascism?
You're talking about completely
I
different
agree
things.
that there's various degrees of the activity that these morons participate in.
And just because you're participating in an anti-ICE protest does not make you a domestic terrorist.
Where was it that they were set up out front and they were shooting at people? Not the one in Dallas. It was another one that they had been involved in. Like the domestic terrorists of the people that used to be part of Earth First that were spiking trees, hoping that the spike would come back and cause the person who's trying to take the tree down.
I don't know.
You don't find those domestic terrorism?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that stuff.
Okay. Well, that was another group.
If you're trying to kill somebody, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you're a protester wearing all black, that does not make you a domestic terrorist.
You just keep going back to the uniform that they wear.
Well, that's one of the conditions. That's one of the conditions they're applying in some of these cases.
Okay. Well, we going to give the people in Dallas they're domestic terrorists?
Sure.
Okay, good.
But give the people that actually cause terrorism, not the people that happen to be at a protest.
Well, then the question is, what is terrorism? It is a violent action that is politically motivated.
Sure.
Okay, you're with that? Are you there? Okay.
If it's a violent action that's politically motivated.
Right. Doesn't have to be necessarily blowing something up. Would you consider somebody going around smash?
Then everybody at January 6th is a domestic terrorist, according to that definition.
Well, not the people. The people that were inside.
Yeah.
Yes, I would put them. That was Did they enter the building with the intent?
Did they deserve 50 years in prison or 100 years in prison?
Did they shoot and kill somebody or attempt to kill
anybody? It
anybody?
doesn't matter. They were committing violence for a political reason.
No, the guy that's doing 100 years, Joe, is the guy that shot the guy.
Yeah, but there's plenty of others that are getting 50 for a lot less, for setting a shopping cart on fire.
Yeah, 50 years.
That's excessive.
Yeah, I don't know if the guy's getting 50 years on that one. They might have.
No, they are. I read it this morning.
Okay, and how about the January 6th guys? I guess they need to make sure they get somebody in there. They'll give them a pardon.
Well, I'm just saying it shouldn't just be a blanket.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good.
Thank you.
You can accuse you of being a domestic terrorist. Thank you for that. All right, wow.
What should happen to those guys that sliced up the reflective pool?
There's no proof that
we don't think anybody. The president said that they're going to bring proof that
paint.
somebody. Yeah, he said that they something else. Here's the other little thing on that. Did you know that the media has spent 7 hours covering that story combined? And in 2013, Obama spent $34 million in order to work on the title,
reflecting pool.
Yeah. Reflecting pool, and the thing also had algae in it. But the media is like all over it. Now people are going down there. If you go anywhere near it, they stop you. They think people are dropping something in there to try to make it bad.
Oh, yeah, you get arrested for putting your hand in it right now.
Well, now that they put a fence around it now.
Did they?
Yeah, chain link fence around the whole thing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Looks awesome.
Well, don't go down there dressed all in black.
Nope.
Okay, here's Nate checking traffic.
This one brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Bellevue to Everett, still an hour, 5-minute commute, 45 to Linwood, and we are solid from 520 to just a little past 527 up there in Canyon Park. I'm seeing a thick backup in both directions of State Route 524 approaching Damson Road up there. We might have a new collision. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes, half hour to Linwood. We're crowded from Northgate into Mill Creek. Linwood to Seattle, we're down to 25 minutes. It is still bumper to bumper, though, at Ravenna in the U District down to the Convention Center. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. It's jam-packed from 520 all the way down to Northeast 44th at the VMAC now. Federal Way to Tacoma is a half hour. That's gone up. We're solid from South 320th all the way to State Route 16. And Tacoma to Olympia, 40 minutes. You got a brief backup through JBLM and then another 3 to 4 mile backup between Lacey and Olympia. Subaru of Puyallup has dependable, fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. Find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Ooh, it is hot outside.
Western Washington is under a heat advisory.
So yeah, stay hydrated and stay with KIRO News Radio for updates on our record heat wave.
If we get to 90, it'd be the second time this June that we've done that.
Together with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather.
It's going to be interesting here for the next couple of days.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
In the Northwest 20 years ago, 90 was unforget about it.
The KIRO News Radio app and your smart speaker.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Big's killer whale stole the show this week with several families gathering for an epic tea party. Naturalists watched the T-65As and T-64Bs speeding in to meet up with the T-46B family, erupting into breaches, spy hops, and nonstop socializing. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, crews even dropped the hydrophone to listen in as the orcas vocalized. Elsewhere, the T-125As, T-100s, and T-124As cruised the waters too. Unforgettable moments for everyone aboard. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend and Port Angeles on the Olympic Peninsula. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. A sold-out Lumen Field today watched Bosnia and Herzegovina take down Qatar in the World Cup 3-1. It was a majority Bosnia crowd. Dennis tells us he came with his family from Baltimore to watch his home country on the world stage.
That's like the one thing that made me come here was just seeing should be 40,000 of us here, and just hearing the atmosphere. This the one thing that makes it all worth it. So
Seattle's next match set for this Friday between Iran and Egypt. Bill Gates says Jeffrey Epstein tried to use his sex life against him in a transcript newly released by the House investigation into Epstein. ABC's Aaron Katursky has the story.
Gates acknowledged he had 3 extramarital affairs, and when Epstein learned about 2 of them from a mutual acquaintance, he said Epstein began working to use information about my infidelities. The committee asked Gates about photos from the Epstein files showing him with women. Gates responded he did not know them. He said Epstein asked me to take a photo with one of his assistants, which I did.
And Gates denied knowing anything about Epstein's criminal conduct, but admitted to being aware of a prior sex conviction. Washington State Patrol trooper is in jail accused of stalking a former dating partner. Seattle Times reports the trooper was charged following allegations of repeated unwanted contact and violations involving that ex-partner. Details in court documents describe ongoing harassment. The case now moving through the court system. State Patrol confirms it is cooperating with the investigation. Washington taxpayers are on the hook for a $1.7 billion hole in the state's legal payout funds. KIRO News Radio's Amanda Factor tells us why.
The state keeps settling huge claims, many tied to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna tells Seattle's Morning News the agency settles to avoid even bigger losses in front of a jury.
That money has to come from somewhere. It comes from state budgets, but state budgets get their money from the taxpayers.
What's the fix?
We need to put in some guardrails and put limits on the amounts that people can recover from the state, which is what other states do.
The strain comes as Washington faces a projected multi-billion-dollar budget shortfall. Amanda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
And we turn now to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Seattle Sports has the update. Everett to Marysville, still taking 20 minutes. We're still slow from the Boeing Freeway all the way up to 528, and now 529 remains bumper to bumper between the Snohomish River and Marysville. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 5 minutes. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. Linwood to Seattle is a 25-minute drive. We're thinning out in Linwood pretty quickly. It is still solid, though, from about Ravenna down to the Convention Center. Over to Bellevue, we've got a new collision. South 405 right at I-90. It's blocking 2 right lanes, adding to our bumper-to-bumper backup starting at 520. Both directions of 405 are heavy through South Center. Federal Way to Tacoma is a half-hour drive, and it is solid from South 320th all the way down to State Route 16. I'm not hearing of any blocking issues. This is sheer volume. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And to your forecast now, we are cooling tomorrow with a sharp cool down and temperatures in the upper 60s after temperatures in the upper 80s the last couple of days. Right now, 87 and sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Did you spin it? Hit it. Hello to yourself there. So it goes round and round. Names of all the players are there on the board. Red, white, and blue for everyone to enjoy. And it lands on Andrew. Andrew,
I look into the sky and I wait at a World Cup game to see when a UFO shows up. And if it does, I take my carton of Wilcox Family Farm eggs.
Ooh, look out! Look
and I
out,
throw
aliens.
the eggs at the UFO to make it go away. Domestic terrorist. Because I'm throwing eggs.
Yep. And then how are they cooked? Does the alien catch them and cook them?
I don't know how aliens cook their eggs. That's a good question.
Well, it's supposed to be a recipe. That's just used. You're using Wilcox Family Farm.
I'm using eggs in a certain way.
All right, that's fine. Does that count? I believe. Does that count?
The answer is yes.
He's mocking the prophecy.
He is. All right. That's not even going to make the book. I'm sorry. Mokusu Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. All right. So we've learned that the Seattle has this problem with the gig workers just aren't cutting it. You know what's really interesting? I looked up Uber Eats, that they were getting $1 to $2 per delivery. That was profit. Altogether, that's what they're getting. Then they put this law in place that said they had to get $5. That the Uber drivers, the gig workers, needed to be able to have a living wage. So then they come up with the law. Was it 2022? Something like that. 2022, I think it was, right?
I think it was more recent than that, actually.
The law that they had to pay the extra $5 on top of the thing?
Wasn't it? Maybe I'm misremembering it, but I thought the minimum wage for gig workers was like $26.
Well, yeah, but then so what happened was 26. They slapped that in there. So then Uber Eats and the other go, okay, then we're going to throw an extra $5 on top. Right. So because we got to make it up. Because what they were doing is they would say, well, you got to pay them this amount of money. So then Uber Eats goes, well, then how do we pay them? Because we're not making that much on this sort of thing. 3 to 4 cents is the margin on every dollar. That's what they make on the booking part. But the state or the city comes in and says, well, you got to pay these people a certain amount of money. So then Uber goes, we're throw a $5 fee on top. So the price just keeps going up. And then what happens? Well, of course, what happens is then the number of people using Uber Eats for delivery go down. The businesses lose the delivery of the product, and then the people who are supposed to deliver the stuff, they lose money as well.
Not long ago, new kinds of jobs appeared. App-based gig work, dog walkers, TaskRabbit, DoorDash, and most common, Uber and Lyft drivers. Gig work is paid by the job, and some say, not paid enough. Leftist media say, gig workers are exploited. So activists demand politicians do something.
You
have a well-crafted solution.
Seattle politicians' a well-crafted solution was to guarantee delivery drivers a $26 minimum wage.
Remember that?
You get the dignity, you get the benefits of what's coming to you.
Annual revenues of billions of dollars a year. So I wouldn't assume that prices are going to go up.
Oh, was that Lisa Herbal? Who was that? Somebody.
It was Andrew Lewis in the first clip, so it must have been 2022.
Yeah. So the idea that so we're gonna third party decides you have to pay this person that amount of money, and then what do you know? When the price of something goes up, people buy less of it.
But they did.
Getting whipped with new charges on food delivery apps.
Oops.
It was 3 items of, Thai takeout food for $122.
I just deleted the app.
Right. People stopped using it. And then people got upset about the fact that, now the Uber driver or the gig drivers that were delivering this stuff aren't making as much because people aren't ordering as much and they don't want to spend so much, $122 for a couple of plates of some Thai food. And now they're like, what do we do about that? Then they had another big meeting right after they passed the thing, we're going to make sure you get this amount of money. Then they had to make some sort of adjustments to try to find the right number. A third party was going to determine what the value of the worker was, and that third party, being the city council, would also determine what your employer will pay you. Well, at that point, Uber Eats and the rest had like 3 choices that they could either whack them with a $5, they could stop doing business there in the city of Seattle, or they themselves, the people that connect you, Uber Eats and DoorDash, would end up eating the additional cost and not passing it on. Well, they just slapped the 5 on top, and then that's what everybody got upset about it. But the beauty of being a gig worker, if you want to do it, is you work as much as you want to work, and that's the deal. That's what the price is. If they allowed all 3, that's Uber Eats and DoorDash, I think there's another one in there too somewhere, allow them to determine, what they're going to pay on each one of these things. And then the person has to determine, the individual, the grown-up, the adult, then has to make the decision, is it worth it for me to make $9, $11, $12? What are the benefits? Well, the benefits are I don't have to be accountable to anybody. I can work whenever I want to work, pick up a little bit of extra cash if I wanted to do that. And if I'm not meeting my expenses, then get another job if it doesn't work. But a third party coming in, you must get paid $26 an hour or $27 because that's what you deserve. And that's what, that's the respectful amount. No, never works. Never. Historically, when the government has set prices, in Rome they set prices, and nobody was bothering taking their products to market. In France, in the 1750s or something, 1790s, they said if you sold bread below the price that we said that you have to sell it, or if you try to sell it above, the worst offense, they could cut your head off for the price controls. This is another form of price controls. A third party coming in to determining the value of that worker. He must be paid or she must be paid. And now they're not getting any money on the thing. This guy, the director of the Manhattan Institute, he's explaining how the app industry works or doesn't work.
When you think about it, it's actually just patently absurd on its face. You're not going to have any improved well-being for people, and you're not going to have increased wages for those workers. The decrease in tips and increased competition for jobs offset all of the gains, basically, from that imposed minimum wage. It's this continual whack-a-mole tendency where, yes, the market responds. We need a new regulation to try to prevent that response. They think that the next regulation is somehow going to squelch the greed out of the system, but there's simply no way to do that.
Right. Competition's the only good way to handle that.
A lot of politicians want to believe there's a free lunch or just a fixed pot of money that they can give out to the neediest people in America. The actual effect was not to improve the well-being of any workers, but it was.
I will say that, it's also they were attempting to unionize. They weren't able to unionize the fast food workers in Seattle. When it's a balance, and when it's tipping in the direction of the employee, where there's not enough people and the business needs to pay more to attract people, that's where it is tipped to the balance to the employee. Sometimes there's far too many workers, and then the employer gets to set the price. Like, look, I'm paying. If you ever read Grapes of Wrath, John Steinbeck's great book, and there were plenty of people that were willing to go into the field, and the guys that were, setting the price were going to pay you $1 a day or something. Well, those guys were getting screwed by that. So in that case, you do need the union to come in to negotiate for the benefit of the employees, for the workers, because there's an imbalance. But in most cases, in a free market where there is an equal balance between the employer and the employee, and the person says, will you do it for $20? The person says no. And a second person comes along and says, well, I'll do it for 18. And then the person goes, okay, I'll hire you. Why does a third party need to get involved and say, no, you can't pay that person 18. You must pay them $22. Well, the employer says, well, I don't have 22. I offered the one guy 20. I offered the other guy 18. The guy said he would do it for 18. And the government comes in and says, no, you have to pay 22. Well, the employer says, I can't pay 22. I don't have that ability to pay $22. So what happens? The employer doesn't get an employee. The guy that would do it for 20 doesn't get paid. And the guy that offered to do it for 18 doesn't make anything. So how does anybody benefit other than the government thinking they're doing good for everyone? It doesn't work. Again, when there's an imbalance where the employer, sometimes the employer is at disadvantage where there's just enough workers, and then they got to offer a whole bunch to get the person to come in and do the job. And don't forget, they're also competing against the government. If the government's going to pay you $15 to sit at home and do nothing, then the employer has to come in and start from $15 and go up to get you off the couch. But this city of Seattle with their stupid minimum wage. By the way, enjoy all the restaurants that close down every single week. And that is because of the minimum wage. In fact, in Washington, D.C., they tried to get away from the livable wage that they put in place. And everybody in there protested. And this guys that own the restaurants and bars are like, you're killing us. We're closing down because you're forcing us to have to pay somebody something that we can't generate the money for. And they don't generate enough productivity in order to be paid that.
Plus, the minimum wage in Seattle, I think, is like $21.50 or something.
Yeah, minimum wage.
But
a livable wage.
But they're saying the gig worker minimum wage is $26. So if you're paying that much more than the minimum wage, if that's accurate, then the competition for those jobs is going to skyrocket.
There you go. And then you got more people in and less people doing the work. Yeah, you see all that? It all works out. Geez, your points there, Joe. You're like a domestic terrorist.
Careful.
Here's Nate checking traffic. Nate.
Global Credit Union has our update. Bellevue to Everett has improved to 50 minutes. We're picking up the pace, but we're still crowded between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Another little backup there approaching the Alderwood interchange. Seattle to Everett, 40 minutes. We're crowded from Northgate up to 164th and Mill Creek. Same story here. You're approaching the speed limit here. Linwood to Seattle, a 25-minute commute. It's bumper to bumper from about 50th there in the U District to the Convention Center. Over in Bellevue, South 405 at I-90, we've got a collision blocking your right lane. This is just past the exit to I-90, so it's not affecting your exits to I-90, but this is right in the middle of a solid backup from 520 all the way to the Renton Landing. In the south end, North 405 slows from I-5 and South Center to the Renton Landing. South Center to Bellevue's at 25 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 40 minutes. You're going to jam up there at South 212th where we've got a collision on your right shoulder. It isn't blocking. And South 5 heading into Fife, we're bumper to bumper from State Route 18 through that Fife curve. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Hi, Nate Connors. If you're over the age of 50, you don't want to wear readers or glasses or contacts anymore, concerned about a cataract, have you considered RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange? I'm telling you, there's 1, 2, 3, I'm counting about 3 or 4 different doctors that'll do the procedure, refractive lens exchange. Here's why I recommend K2 Vision. So my experience was this, about 5 years ago, I think about 5, I go in, I meet Dr. Kopstein, we talk about golf and a few other things. I asked a slightly uncomfortable question. How many of these have you done? He said, I don't know, about 100,000. I said, okay, I'm in great hands. And he goes, now look, and take a look at your eyes, and if it's not going to have a great result, I'll tell you to come back in 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. Immediately, I thought, okay, this guy's just not just trying to get the money. He wants to make sure it's going to have a great result. Looks at my eyes. He goes, man, you got some problems, and you got a cataract in your right eye. I said, let's do it. And sure enough, 5 minutes in one eye, 5 on the other. When I come back in the next day, I got 20/20 vision. Great move. No more readers, no more glasses or contacts, and not a concern about a cataract. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate. And there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Spring is the perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain.
DayandNight.net. Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night.
Now get $100 off any drain cleaning. DayandNight.net.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Yes, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Advanced Hair Restoration. Wow, that's it for the song?
Sheesh.
All right, we get a letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest.
Dennis in Seattle says, so the girl that won one time yelled out, quiet. Thank you, Andrew, for letting the guys know that they're on the air.
Mike Schatz, who came on, Victoria and Tiger Mountain says,
Gabor Mate.
Gabor Mate is incredible. Oh, yeah, I saw him past in April when he was in Seattle.
Mike in Portland says, I'd argue that someone who has faced challenges and learned resilience is more likely to succeed than someone who has always had everything handed to them and has never been told no.
I would agree with that. Max in the 425 says, guy had nothing to lose, willing to risk it all. That's a good take on that.
I'm going to skip to Reem in the UK. John in the 360 says, the talking point statistic about the UK being as poor as Mississippi is mind-boggling. I don't have the facts, but I would have guessed that they were a top 15 compared to the U.S. states. I thought the Brits did well economically.
Well, apparently you learn something new every day. Jamestown in Eastlake says, we're going to lose America's next favorite pen pal, Scotland.
On the Kratom lobbyist, the new old man John said, I only use natural Kratom, seldom. It does what you expect coffee to do. You don't get high. You're just in a better mood. Makes cleaning out the shed not sound so bad.
Agree on that one?
Yeah, I think it's a slippery slope.
425 says you can get it to Chevron in Cle Elum.
206.
Oh, can you get it? And the answer is no. It's a question mark.
206 said I tried it for pain and got addicted. The 7-OH, it should not be legal. I went to my doctor and told her, and she said she'd seen other patients with this problem. She had to help me detox from it.
17 and 206 says everything at a gas station is bad for you, including the gas.
Not a bad take. 360 says my friend who is a pastor just lost her son to Kratom. He took it for years and it took a toll on his heart. He was only 30.
Good lordy.
Let's go to loudest person.
Loudest person, Sister Marie Elephant. I'm old too, says 206.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Oh, you know what? So many letters. And so little time.
It's not fair.
Quiet, Teeny. Quiet.
They write all the letters and we never get to them.
She's running the clock.
Tina in the 425 says, thanks to Joe, we know the world's not coming to an end today. At exactly 3:42, Curly had me convinced that the aliens abducted Scottish soccer players and swapped them with sexy tan Moroccans.
I got thrown off. I was looking at the wrong screen.
Wait a minute.
Like, where are all the Scottish guys?
That's all she wrote.
There they are.
Didn't write no more.
Is that them?
Nope. It's a new match.
I follow this World Cup stuff. Maybe I got World Cup fever again.
Sounds like it. That is Chechnya.
Whatever. Okay, here's Nate checking traffic.
Belvedere Everett, 50 minutes. We're picking up the pace still, but it is still crowded off and on from Kirkland into Alderwood. Seattle to Everett's at 40 minutes. You're slow from Northgate up to 164th there in Mill Creek. Linwood to Seattle holding steady at 25 minutes, and we're still jam-packed about 50th to the convention center. So the backup isn't very long, but it is a tough one to get through. In Bellevue, we cleared that crash south 405 at I-90, so this opens up a lane for our hefty backup from 520 all the way down to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton's going to take you 25 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, 25 minutes, pretty much cleared out on this route. But once you get into Federal Way, it is solid from South 320th all the way to State Route 16. So Federal Way to Tacoma is a half-hour drive. You'll thin out once you get through that Fife curve. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Who's ready to celebrate America's 250th birthday? I bet a bunch of you are heading to the beach. It's going to be a crazy weekend down at the beach on the Oregon and Washington coasts. There are a few common mistakes people make every single year, and they just don't get better at it. I'll have what those tips are and how not to ruin your holiday tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. And I want to wish you a happy Independence Day. The 4th of July is my favorite. It's about family, gratitude, patriotism, and amazing exploding lights in the sky. Perhaps I love it most because it's called Independence Day. I love to fight for my clients' independence. Your right to drive, to provide for your family, your right to do stuff. You feel liberty most when you lose it. Remember buying a box of bottle rockets and salute shells with nothing more than a "have fun, kids"? Well, things have changed since then, including the consequences of a DUI. We're your safe and sane solution to keep freedom ringing. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Red, white, and blue are the colors of freedom, unless they're flashing behind you. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo,
your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.